And welcome to another episode of Chaos Chamber. After missing last week, I think we're all a little jumpy, a little edgy. Haven't gotten our fix. I know I'm shaking a little bit, so I'm excited. A little tension last time, a little lack of battle. We're gonna make up for that tonight, I believe, depending on what the Chaos Chamber decides to do. See where the Phandalin Phive goes. But otherwise, I'm excited. Another week, another D&D. Not gonna lie, I was a little iffy coming into this week because I don't know what you guys are gonna do. Prepping gets harder every week for you guys, but we'll see where it goes. So I can't wait. Let's find out where the Phandalin Phive decides to go. With that, you want to send us to the recap screen.
Yep, you're there.
So, last session, the group making their way to Yartar after numerous decisions, deciding to talk to the High Priestess directly and perhaps just sort out this mess, this issue that's been nagging for so long, sending you down to the southwest, down to Candlekeep to retrieve this book that has been a thorn in your side. And being so close and a quick jump over, why not head to Yartar and take care of a few things while you're there and talk to the High Priestess. Upon entering the High Priestess's lair, her palace, I shouldn't call it a lair, you had a little bit of a run-in with one of her priests that you've been cohorting with, in that he was a bit snippy in the fact that you had not yet completed the quest, and while he said there was no urgency, you certainly took that to heart and did not in any urgent way approach the matter. This led to a bit of a tense exchange back and forth between the Phandalin Phive and the priest and the High Priestess, as expectations were not quite clear between the two, at which point it escalated, attempting to pay off your debt, which was not entirely appreciated, before Reed put a stop to it in the most unorthodox way of threatening Griswold, putting a dagger to the back of his back, essentially, climbing up and then trying to calm the matter before being the ultimate diplomat and getting between this, bringing tensions down with the priest and slowly just lowering the temperature and getting a little bit more feel about what was going on. At that point, you were able to convince Jenzik and the High Priestess that perhaps a better deal could be made, as the Phandalin Phive is on an important quest and has great deeds ahead of them beyond repaying their debt. And in doing so, managed to successfully negotiate that by completing one more request for the High Priestess that has gained some level of urgency, the debt of the Phandalin Phive would be wiped clean, no additional favors required, and they could move about their quest. And this quest tends to be right in the city. Apparently, a few young men of wealthy constituents of this particular High Priestess have gone missing recently. It's caused a bit of a situation, tends to be very high tension to the High Priestess and these powerful families. And the young men going missing have been somewhat politically related families, but also constituents of this particular temple. And so, with that, asking for your help a little bit and giving you the names of 3 young men that have gone missing recently, and asking if the Phandalin Phive, with all of their investigative skills and the reputation they bring, could help track down what's going on with these men to wipe their debt clean. At which point, you guys decided to take a step out and go your separate ways, with few people going in different directions. We're going to pick up there with you guys scattering amongst Yartar, taking care of a few things already, but we will pick up in Yartar midday. Still fairly early in the day, too. A little before noon. So with that said, let the chaos ensue. All right, now you guys had gone your separate ways last time. We took care of a few things off book. Is there anything anybody else wanted to do while you were separate?
Did you get my messages?
Ooh, did I? Yeah, Hold on, now I gotta refresh my memories for 2 weeks out. I thought we had some back and forth, but 1 second.
Or did I miss them?
I do not have any messages from you.
About where he's going?
Was it in Roll 20? 1 second. I don't have it in
Yes,
Discord.
I think it was. Yes, it
Uh-oh.
was.
Yep. Didn't see a couple of these messages right at the end here. So let's pick up on that momentarily. Set over. 1 second as I read this. Oh, shoot.
Damn. All right, that's awesome.
Great reaction.
Okay.
I have to be honest. I forgot. I actually forgot I wrote that until about half hour before game started. I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
Good to know. Yep. So I apologize that we did not get to take care of that off screen, Chamb3r.
That's okay.
With that said, I would say that you managed to talk to the right people and
Okay.
accomplish what you're looking to accomplish there.
All right, cool.
And with the first part of it, your reputation carries through, and you were pulled in. The second part of the message, I will whisper a few notes over to you then,
Okay.
as we're going here, so I'm not holding things up. Okay. Good. Okay, so you did that. So Chamb3r separates from the group a little bit. Most of the rest of you stayed behind to talk, and Griswold went off to the Lord's Alliance, which we handled separately. Anything else you wanted to do that with that, Griswold?
No, we're all peachy. We are all peachy.
Okay. Is there anything anybody else wanted to do while you guys are quasi separated right now? And while I'm replying to Eric.
No, not while we're separated. Once we get back together, I know Griswold pitched over like, I don't know, 1,400, 18, whatever amount of gold Griswold pitched over. I'm going to
1,500.
try and give him 500 gold pieces from what I have to help supplement what he gave.
Okay.
And then, G, at some point in time, we'll have to just.
Yes, that will taper off as this session completes and wrap back around. So
we'll chat. Yeah, so
but feel free to incorporate any event into this particular session as well, as I'm aware, and it is the wheels are in motion.
Cool. All right.
So we assume Griswold meets back up with the party.
Yeah, you guys kind of come back to the party then. Chamb3r's a little bit later than the rest of you, but you guys managed to kind of meet up in the center of the town. You're getting to start to get a feel for the layout now. Had a meeting point come together, so you guys are now back. And Rook, I saw your note as well. Noted.
Griswold's going up to Reed. Putting his big meaty hands on his shoulder. And you'd think that maybe Griswold's gonna like try to strangle him at this point. He's not going to. Reed, that was quite ballsy to try to attack my kneecap like that, but I think
Eric,
I
you
understand.
really need to
I think I understand why you did that, and good for you.
Arrogant of you to think it was a threat, and that I wouldn't follow through.
I mean, I'd love to see you try to stab me with that knife, but we can handle that another time.
Warwick's just gonna sit in the back and be like, "Yes, yes, my plan is coming through." I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Here we go, G.
So
Are you? Is that slide
going
ahead to
for
try
it?
to hit me?
I'm gonna unsheath and put it to his wrist.
Oh.
All right. Grizz, as he does that, go ahead and give me a. So, are you trying to do it stealthily or quickly?
Quickly.
I guess. Do you want him to notice it, or are you just trying to get it there before he realizes it? What's your?
Get it there before he realizes.
All right. Go and give me a perception check here, Grizz.
what did I I roll here?
Oh, I had that on normal. Oh yeah, I don't know shit.
Yeah, you don't notice it until it's too late. You feel a light pressure on your wrist, and you're kind of distracted by Reed, so you don't notice it immediately until he brings it to your attention.
I really
Oh, I'm
thought,
just gonna.
I really
just
thought you'd
gonna
be
look at him.
quicker with realizing.
No, I'm gonna look down because you're what at my knee.
I'm
Like,
3'6".
All right, so yeah, you're like quad air. You're like quad height. Reed, come on now. I don't know why you continue to try to prove this, but if you're going to try to cut me, then go ahead. If not, let's settle this. I don't understand why you have to try to do this. I was giving you a compliment. If you want to try to attack me in melee, then by all means,
I don't need your flattery.
see what you need to prove here.
What are you trying to prove with complimenting me?
I'm just saying,
Are you trying to make up for the fact that you tried to steal money from a church?
I wasn't trying to steal money from a church.
You gave
Did
them
I?
tithes.
Time out. Did I not give them 1,800 gold pieces and then you took 200 of that yourself before? I had already given that. So if I would have tried to take that back, you're saying I stole. So therefore you took 200 pieces. So therefore you stole from them.
You attempted to give
Is it
tithes and take back.
So if I had given
I
tithes
negotiated 200 gold.
No, you didn't negotiate shit. You just went and took that, so you stole it as well. So let's stop this bickering about this, Reed. Come on now, we're a group here.
What was the point of bringing it up then?
I just gave you a compliment. It seemed like you had a little warmth in that heart of yours. It was quite nice to see.
I am breathing, so there is slight warmth.
Oh, Reed. You know what I mean.
Hey, so Reed, since you told us basically said for the group that we are going to go on this quest, where would you like to go first?
Let us inquire to the parents of the children. We know they were gambling.
Are we splitting the party or all go? There were what, 3 families?
Yeah, 3.
Do we want to split up and regroup later, or do we want to attack one by one? Attack.
This is me forgetting from last week, but did we figure out what group they were gambling with? Was that a character?
You did not.
Okay.
They knew they had a bit of a rough history.
Somewhere involved with guilds. Yeah, some gambling
Caldrum,
issue,
you are now back as well. I just shot another message, a little bit more to you as it's coming.
Caldrum,
Yeah.
welcome back, my friend. How are you?
Good.
Nice. I missed you.
Actually, Warwick, you seem to know a lot about this city for some reason.
Do I?
Well, you're trying to become mayor, and you'd have to be known for that to occur, so...
I'm only known by what people speak of me. I know too much about Yartar. I'm just just so we're all on the same page. My whole point of trying to be mayor of Yartar is just to enhance my lines of communication to help the party.
Are all your ways of spreading your word above bar?
Yes. You can go ahead and insight check, but I'm being dead serious.
Oh, I wasn't going to insight check it.
Damn it. But yeah, yes, absolutely. 100%.
You know anything that's below the bar? Anybody that would be a loan shark?
I don't know anyone per se in Yartar, but I'm sure I can find somebody. You know, when people start drinking, they tend to be a little loose with what they talk about, right? Maybe we can find one of those, what do you say, dive bars? And we
Well,
can...
that's actually not a bad idea because I believe these youngsters kind of were hanging with that type of crowd.
Right. You know, it might not be a bad idea if we maybe a few of us went off to one of the families to see if we can gather some information, and then maybe a few of us went off to, I don't know, a bar or one of these guilds that we learned about.
And if I remember correctly, one of us in the party isn't too great at gambling from our last experience.
Griswold's gonna look over and be like, I'm not good at gambling, nor am I good at arm wrestling, apparently, but that's a different story. I mean,
Oh, Grizz,
I'm
we don't
more
need to lose any more gold pieces.
We could probably use that to our advantage and try to lure someone out.
We probably could. That's
watch.
a good idea.
This is out of character. Watch. If I gamble, I'm gonna fucking win this time. And I'm gonna piss someone off. It's gonna be awesome. But Griswold will be like, I mean, I'm more than happy to do that.
So FYI, I just switched your screen to the overall map for no particular reason other than since it's very generalized, I figured I'd keep this in the background. Thought it makes a little more sense. There's no particular purpose to it. I'm not teleporting you anywhere.
I do have one question out of character.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me. Did you just shift click us somewhere?
Darn right I did. I just
Yeah.
entered Yartar.
Oh, okay. So okay.
The fire giant battle is like way off that way.
Yes, that was.
Oh,
I was
is
gonna
that
ask.
not? Okay. Some of this kicked over. Whenever I expanded the map, that's not your battle. Maybe that was a different battle. Fire giants are all over the place.
Interesting.
Yes. Okay, so there's that one, and then the
No, that is a
Dragon
DM
Slayer.
error, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
I was gonna say, if there's
that-
a dragon lair in the ocean, I'm in. We're doing it.
Keegan, some dragons are amphibious and can breathe underwater, but that would be
You have
pretty
water breathing.
freaking
That's where we're going. I'm leaving
crazy.
Yartar. I'm gonna
All right, there we go.
So who is?
Chris, you had a question off. What were you
No,
saying?
it was about the fire giant battle. That was it.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I gotta switch those few things around. I made the bigger expanded map, and some of these didn't carry over with the actual specific points, so I gotta adjust that a little bit.
So are we splitting the party? Some going to the family's house and some gambling, or should we all? My thought is if only some of us go to these bars, there's going to be more than likely be a fight. More than likely.
Well, with it being 12 o'clock, I'm sure there's probably not the right people there.
Right. Yeah.
So
We go to the families.
talk to maybe one of the first families, and then see how
Yeah,
long it takes us. And as it gets later on, maybe we can split after that.
I like that idea.
And I'm happy to try to gamble later and see if I can correct my wrongdoings, but probably will not happen.
Well, let's be clear here. We're not having you try to win. That doesn't help us find someone that would potentially loan you money.
Oh, I wouldn't even know how to win if I tried.
And Grizz, don't worry, I'll front the money for gambling since you're a little light on your pocket.
I'll hold up that little bag. I'm actually going to give you the 500 back for right now. And just say, why don't you hold on to this? You can loan this to me later. Just you could help me if I need it later.
Okay. I'll kindly put it back in my pocket. So, what family would be, I guess, maybe the closest to us?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah, so if you're heading to the family's house first, then so you've got the feel for the 3 different locations now. The closest one to you, which is only a decent little walk, maybe 15 minutes to get there across one bridge, would be that would probably be Jacob Dawnflower's house.
All right. Well, I say we head over to the Dawnflowers house and talk to mommy and daddy, or mistress, maid, whatever, whoever, grandparents. Yeah. And so on the way there, though, I wanna more be perceptive about what's around me versus actually getting to where we're going. Just to see if I can pick up on maybe any guilds or anybody talking about gambling, or the kids that were taken, whatever. Just scuttlebutt in the streets. So somebody else can lead if they want to.
Go ahead and give me a perception check then for the travel. For
Ah.
you specifically, as you're keeping an ear out here.
I'll
14, 15.
All right. As you guys are traveling, I will say you don't hear anything about the boys. You're kind of keeping some scuttlebutt out there. You're tossing it. Some know the kids. Don't know anything about it. Didn't know they were missing. Seems to be very hush hush. Not a lot talking about it. No one really knew they were gone. No one seems to really like these kids. Seem to be a bit of a bad reputation within the area as far as perhaps using their slight nobility to bully a little bit, get their way, a little arrogant guys. But at the same time, nothing really seems to come up. As far as gambling goes, they mentioned a few different gambling dens. There's the big draw is the Riverboat Casino. That's comes in and out on the ocean up to the north, and then along the streets there's a lot of gambling in different back alleys and whatnot as well. So a few different options there at different levels.
Okay, cool.
So you guys start heading over to the household, anything you want to do on the way as you head to the Dawnflower Estate?
I'll look at Keldrum. Keldrum, I have, if needed, I can, if we need to cast Zone of Truth, I can, just to make sure people are telling, or at least if we know if they're lying, I should say.
I do not have that prepared for today, so you may have to use that.
As we're going over, one thing that Adrian had used the staff to locate an object. The piece of the Vondod. I wonder if we can use a similar spell. If we can use the same thing, but if the parents tell us maybe a specific item that one of the children have, if that's a thing. I don't know how any of that works, but do you think we could use something like that, and hopefully they're maybe within distance?
Like find person, like locate object. Is that
Locate object more specifically.
Got it.
Do any of you have locate object, or are you asking amongst the group if it's possible here?
Yeah, I'm asking the group if it's possible.
I have it, but I don't have it prepared. And the thing is, I have to be familiar with the object.
Could we get the parents to describe it? Like I'm thinking similarly to sending. We were able to go off of description of someone. I don't know if that's how this works, but is it worth a shot? Or if someone has find person, that'd be dope. But I don't even.
I have locate creature, but again, I don't have it prepared for today.
Okay.
So
Alright.
we could go this route tomorrow, but
I also have locate object, but I can get it tomorrow. Okay, all right, just something for us to keep in mind.
See what kind of information we can get about the boys and
Yeah.
And
Do they have any specific items and stuff that they usually carry with them? Maybe we could try.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Well, good. So you guys make your way throughout town. You managed to quickly find the estates. You guys had a pretty good feel. The lords are well known in this town. Not only did the high priestess kind of give you some direction, but also as you're making your way through the city, it's pretty easy to ask around and say, hey, where do you need to go? And they point you in the direction. You approach a higher end area of town. The houses get bigger. You see a lot more guards. The walled off estates become a little bit more difficult to reach. You certainly realize that you've entered an area of town that's a little bit more higher end and a little bit more cautious. You making your way through this town have gathered a lot of interest in this particular area. Anyone traveling with a number of weapons. The band itself, despite being well known at Phandalin Phive, isn't necessarily carrying a banner with them. So you guys are basically a large-looking mercenary group decked out in armor and weapons heading through a very nice neighborhood of lesser nobles. Getting a lot of side eyes here.
Trying to keep those property values in check.
God damn it, Rusty, you beat me to it.
I love it.
Is that war or something like that? Like
You can see people closing their doors already and locking them, starting to take their children in the back of the house. All of that, but you approach a fairly well-off manor, large walled estate surrounded it, closed gate currently, ivy growing up each of the fences. The manor, not unlike in size Chamb3r Manor, however, much more modern and very well kept. You see a number of guards not only at the gate, but also kind of circling around the property. Right off the bat, you see 4 or 5 that just immediately catch your attention. They don't seem to be hiding, or doing more passes along the way. They seem to be some form of hired guards along it. But otherwise, it's a beautiful estate, extremely well established. And you kind of come up to it from the road, and the gate is closed. It's a fairly large 10-foot gate, kind of carriage size, to make its way through. 2 guards standing directly behind it on the opposite side, who are giving you a weary look, but do not engage with you as you approach. They basically ignore you as riffraff.
Wow. Ignore us as riffraff. That's upsetting. I guess I'll and I'm within like talking distance, right? They're just on the other side of the gate, kind of.
Yeah, you guys are kind of standing right there, and they are giving you side eyes, but they are kind of move along sort of thing. Weapons are at the ready. You see them kind of clenching their fists a little bit. They're at ease, but they're kind of hoping you just keep moving on and think that you're just kind of evaluating the estate. But they're really a mere 8 feet away, 10 feet away on the other side of this gate.
I'll walk up to him and say, "At ease, soldier. We're just the Phandalin 5. Don't worry." I'm Warwick, and I'll hold out my hand, not expecting to get a handshake whatsoever, but just to show them that I'm friendly. But I know they're probably going to stand post like the British Army or whatever for the Queen.
And they're not quite that stoic. Give me a persuasion check.
Persuasion, yes. Oh God. 25.
Jesus Christ. So you see him momentarily as the hand comes out, jitter. And then as you say that you're the Phandalin 5, his eyes jump up. Look at you. Look across. And he almost seems... You watch this grown-ass man. He seems to have some Goliath in his veins. He has that Griswold-esque look. Not pure blood by any means, but standing about 7 feet tall, kind of decked out, balding. Appears to be maybe a Hork-Goliath hybrid. Cut jaw. Very serious. You see him go from a disturbed look to almost starstruck. You can tell that he is momentarily in awe as he sees this, like a little girl that just saw her favorite boy band member. He does his best to immediately try to hide it again, and shakes it off. And he looks over at his partner, who is also kind of staring adoringly at each of you, like he wants to get your autograph. And he shakes himself loose. I'm the Phandalin 5, you say? Well, may I ask the honor that you are here to the estate? You require something? Is there a battle nearby? May we join you? Are you recruiting? Do you need extra? Are you looking for men? The Phandalin 7, 8, 9. I've been told you take on others. I apologize. He's gonna reach out and shake your hand, and it's a very large hand. And as he does so, kind of dropping his weapon, you can feel him shaking a little bit in his excitement.
I'll pull him in a little close to me and be like, "Don't worry, we have this effect on a lot of people. Like, if you have something I could sign, I'll sign it for you." And I'll pull out my pen really quick.
He's gonna pull down his shirt and kind of no, I can't do that. What Warwick? What may we do with you? What can we do for you?
Well, do you guys know of
Clearly
any
flustered.
houses on this street that are for sale?
Oh my God.
I believe there is an estate down below from a recently deceased lord that is currently available, but I apologize. I'm not well suited in the ways of real estate within this area. I know it only is a potential threat. I can find people to get back to you if you'd like. He's looking at his buddy, and his buddy's like,
Hey, if you can, don't worry about it. If you can maybe find out and get back to me, that'd be great. No, we're here on more.
they're going to turn around and start to try to go find out. They're immediately going to go at your request.
Hold on. We're actually here for a few other things too. No, we've heard of some troubles with it was Dawnflower, right? Dawnflower.
Yep, Dawnflower.
Yeah.
We've
Jacob was the son that went missing.
Okay. We've heard of some troubles with some missing children, one of them being Jacob Dawnflower, and we were hoping to inquire with the Mr. and Mrs. Dawnflower of the estate to kind of find out a little more about what's going on and see if we can help in this situation.
Of course. I believe he's run away again. He hasn't been seen in about 3 days. This is not abnormal for him. However, please come in. Mr. Dawnflower is currently away. However, the lady of the house is currently in. That would be Glasha Dawnflower. Would you like me to fetch her, or would you like to come in and we can have you seated?
No, if we can go in and see her in the house, that would be great. No need to bring
What was her name again?
Flash.
Glasha, Glasha.
Thank you.
Before you go and fetch her, though, you said that it's not abnormal for Jacob to be gone for a few days. What else can you tell us about it?
They're kind of going to look at each other. You see shifty eyes going back and forth.
Between us.
They're going to look back, and the door to the estate's about 50 feet behind them, so there's a long way off. You see a few others that are kind of glancing your direction, but they don't quite realize who you are yet, and it doesn't appear anyone from the estate's there. It's all just the guards making their way around. He's going to saddle up to the gate a little bit. Master Jacob is, shall we say, a troublesome youth. He has... I'm not very familiar with the terms of the land, but I believe a silver spoon in his hand is what I've heard it referred to.
Heard it 2 other ways, but silver spoon
he's a petulant child who goes missing for days on end, spends his parents' money, and expects us to drag him out of it. He is a troublesome youth, and frankly, if he were to disappear one day, I would not be opposed. He only makes my job harder, and the risk assessment all the more difficult here. He brings troublesome crew back to him, and he is nothing but trouble. However, he is the apple of the lady of the house's eye, and he can do no wrong, and so that is between you and I, correct, Warwick?
Perhaps I will gift her a belt so she can beat the child into some sense. Anyways, that's between me and you. You mentioned
Master
something.
Jacob is on a pedestal. You must not speak ill of him by any means.
No, this is certainly between you. I will be a little more discreet when talking.
Are there? I'm gonna step up.
He's gonna look to his buddy. It's
mentioned that
Griswold. It's Griswold. Yeah. Yes.
Griswold's gonna blush a little. One last thing. You mentioned that he brings forth some friends and he gets into trouble. Are there any usual hideouts or places that he may go to have fun, spend money, cause a little trouble?
Brothels, by chance? No?
As you're saying this, your prayers to answer, you look over at his buddy, who's another very large guy, chest basically the size of most of your full body, is like a barrel. And he's just you see him kind of pointing underneath his hand. And he's like, Amro can read.
I love it.
It's all under the table here, and he's just back to it. Whispers over to his buddy. So ask, my primary role is to guard the estate, so I cannot say I've not had the requirement to follow him. However, I've heard whispers amongst town that he heads into some of the less well-off establishments. The taverns. He has been drinking since well below younger than he should, as well as getting into numerous trouble. You would find him. I have heard he hangs out in some of the back alleys over in the. Oh gosh, one second, as I completely blank on the name that I was going for here. Over in the Bywater. He spends some time there. He also, when he's not in a tavern, can be found at basically any gambling parlor in the area, and more often than not, he's losing half of this estate in his gambles. I wish I could tell you more.
I'm gonna give him a little nudge.
What's that?
I said, sounds like you, Griswold. I'm gonna give him a little chuckling a little bit. So
I would nudge him back, but I don't want him to fly 10 feet.
If I can be honest with you,
does he ever come back with friends, quote unquote friends, that come back to the estate here, or do you ever see people that he hangs out with?
He travels with a number of riffraff. Often it is a different set of crew that comes home with him. Usually it is someone trying to carry on or basically suckle the teat of power within this town, as the Dawnflower name does carry some weight. One of the more powerful. Kind of looks over his shoulders to make sure no one's listening. One of the more powerful. I rarely recognize the same voice twice, although he does travel with. No, not like that. Oh, no, please, no, I don't mean that. I mean that the voice could take advantage of his position, and then are cast aside. He's very unloyal. He does tend to travel around with some of the other families of lesser noble families of the town. He travels with that Salzburg boy. More often than not, they have been traveling since they were young men together, going to school. But a few other lords and ladies have made. I may speak out of
Cutting out
turn.
on you guys.
Yep.
You're good.
Am I back? Okay.
Yeah.
You're good now, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. The internet's been even more glitchy than recently this past week. Something's going on that I gotta get taken care of. I'm dropping calls, so if I do, I apologize. I can hear you guys the whole time. Anyways, he's gonna reach out. May I speak out of turn?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Phandalin Phive, from my understanding, has great legendary deeds. Young Jacob will typically come back after 3 or 4 days, smelling of liquor, somewhat his own puke, and any other number of tobacco flavors. And will act like nothing has happened. I do not believe this is in your best interest to utilize your time on. But do not let me speak to the Phandalin Phive. That is entirely at your disposal. And with that, as he's talking to you, he realizes there's a gate between you. He's going to reach over, unlock it on his side, and then pull it open as you guys are talking.
Have you noticed if there's been any unfamiliar people that he's been hanging out with as of late? Any new faces that you might see?
I must say, Master Jacob's taste in women has shifted considerably recently. Having previously hobnobbed with the upper echelon of ladies in this particular town, and having made his way through them numerously, recently he has brought a, shall we say, a more colorful set of ladies back. The kind of folks that you would not want to run across in a back alley. Perhaps young ladies that are having issues with their parents and are rebelling in some ways. They are certainly not of Master Jacob's class. They are seedy-looking bunches, but you know how young men will be. Their tastes shift considerably whenever they are rebelling from their parents, and so I am not one to judge.
Interesting.
Look over. Warwick. Sounds a little bit like you, huh?
No, I never rebel. I was a child. I was an angel when I was a child. Is there? You mentioned.
Allow me to. Go ahead.
Is he rebelling just because of his age, or would there be a particular reason why he would be rebelling against his parents?
He no particular reason that I'm aware of. He is a teenager that has never worked a day in his life, has unlimited funds, and has been bailed out of every situation he's ever been in. He is a petulant little boy that is trying to now make a name for himself, and believes that he is untouchable. So I don't believe there's any particular reason. However, I do spend most of my time outside the household, so I wouldn't be of particular use if there is something inside. I'm sorry, I can't be more of assistance there. To add on to my earlier comment, allow me to just say, if some of these women that have been through here, I would not be surprised to see a few highly valuables go missing as they make their way in and out of the building with him.
Interesting. Well, I think you've been a great help. If you wouldn't mind, I think, unless anybody else has any questions, I think we'd like to go in and see the lady of the estate.
Great.
May I just say, the Phantom 5 seems to have great strength. and purpose. You have taken on legendary conquests. You need no others. However, if you are taking resumes, I would like to submit mine to perhaps join you.
Do you have it on you currently? I'd love to take a look at it.
Give him an autograph already.
He's gonna kind of reach around like I
Don't worry.
I can verbally give it to you, and he's gonna kind of pull out his sword like I have killed. And he's going to start listing off all of his accomplishments, the number of men he's killed with the sword, how long he's guarded this, and he's just start ranting about his time in battle, the things that he's slayed. Basically, it's he is very proud of everything he tells you. Considering your accomplishments, he has done very little. A few battles here and there, some skirmishes. He has put down some small rebellions, taken out some small nuanced creatures. You're not impressed, but he's very proud of what he's telling you. He does have a large amount of blood on into his name, though. Good amount of blood on his ledger.
Sounds like some major accomplishments for a man of your age. I'm very impressed. If we have any need of somebody,
He's gonna blush.
If we have any need of anybody, I will certainly keep you in mind.
I appreciate that.
I like this guy already. What did you say your name was? Your names were actually. There's two of them. What are their? What are they? And you know how? Yeah. What?
They're gonna kind of look at each other, and as they get ready to speak, they kind of freeze. They're Brunhold, Brunhold, and his buddy's gonna just as quickly as he can spew it out. Lemeagli.
So I'll pull out my journal and I'll rip out 2 pages in the journal, and on one page I'll say thank you Brunhold, and I'll sign Warwick, and then the other one I'll say thank you whatever that guy's name is. And then I'll sign Warwick as well, and then I'll hand it to him. Say, but just for when I'm famous. And then I'm just gonna. I think we'll see the lady of the house now. And I'll start.
And then the other guy, Lemeagli, is gonna start bringing you in, and as you do so, Brunhold is just gonna. Will I hear from you soon? I'll wait here. You see that hopeful look in his eye, like a man that's hoping to leave with you. You've seen Warwick. You in particular have seen this semi look from a number of young ladies over time, with a little bit more lust in their eyes. This is more need and desperation and hope. So not the same lust, but like a desire to leave with you as the group. He's certainly not trying to get in your pants. That's I don't want to describe it incorrectly here, but you are led in by
not yet
Lemeagli as you make your way in. And what was that? Sorry.
I would say he's not trying to get in my pants yet.
Yeah, not yet. And he's gonna bring you to the door. Open this massive, solid wooden door that's actually gorgeous. You can tell hand built, very strong, great labor. Amrook, you're kind of impressed. Doesn't appear to be dwarven in nature, but actually is some pretty impressive craftsmanship in general. So you're kind of taken aback by it momentarily in this gorgeous estate. And as you walk into this incredible atrium opening, there's a big fish pond as soon as you go in there. Big skylight right off the bat. So this entryway wide open, but more impressive than most of the households you've seen. And as you enter, you see a younger man, bald head, some brown eyes. He appears to have some rougher brown skin, but very well dressed, a little bit obese and an average height, human in nature. Very bland face, very dull, not much personality. But he's going to come up to you in a very professional manner. Introduce yourself. I am Gurvanal. Allow me to bring you to the lady of the estate. May I take your weapons?
No, thank you. Well, nice to meet you.
Are you sure I cannot take the weight of those weapons from you and leave them here near the door for your return?
I assure you we mean no harm, but I think we would feel better if we kept them on us. Unless anybody else in the party would like to give their weapons away. And I'll just turn to the group and
I will unsheath my
No.
sword. I think I have.
And you saw him
Yeah.
twitching kind of intermittently here in his chest as you guys were rejecting it. And as you do so, you see him slowly start to kind of lower his shoulder. That is most
And
comforting.
this is the first time you guys probably have ever seen his sword. It is definitely probably more for show than for actual use. Keldrum's sword looks like it has never hit anything ever.
I'm gonna cast Mage Hand and just sort of have the hand like visible and floating around in the air. And be like, I can't really give mine up. It's kind of built in.
He is going to momentarily flummox, but then take the sword with all of the gentle ease possible from Caldrum as he's keeping an eye on this mage hand. He's going to bring it over and gently set it on a nice countertop with some cloth underneath it. Would anybody else prefer to check their weapons?
I'll give the axe of warning, since that is on my person. I'm assuming that the halberd doesn't really look like anything other than a handle. So I'll just here's an axe. It probably barely fits my hands, so it's kind of funny.
So you guys, decked out in full armor, weapons galore hanging from all areas, are like, you can have these two. Meanwhile, there's 15 more just dangling from you in all various areas, and you're in a momentary stare down. He seems to be remaining his posture fairly well, though. You see that his chest twitch a little bit more as he attempts to hold back some anxiety here. In that case, you may follow me to the lady of the house. And he's going to direct you through the atrium, momentarily giving you some side looks, but he seems to be holding his professionalism along quite well. Bringing you back through the house, you pass through a number of rooms. It's actually quite impressive, very tastefully decorated. You see some very high-end art and within the walls, a number of objects on shelves. You see it seems to be more decorative than anything else. No trophies or anything by that means. Very, very museum-esque in its nature. And as he leads you through this, he takes you to what appears to be some form of study, with the lady of the house already on a reclining chair in the back, with a desk behind it. Seems to be very relaxed, almost expecting you. He must have given some forward warning there. And as you enter, you see a woman that you assume to be Galasha. One second.
Want to see a magic trick?
So you see, she's a semi-older woman. Still very well presented. Dressed immaculately, despite the fact that she seems to be on her own. You saw a few guards kind of meandering through, but the husband's gone. Long, wavy brown hair, the piercing blue eyes that catch you immediately from across the room. You can see them. Rough, dark skin that seems to be a bit aged, more than it should be, and fairly tall for a woman of her size, with an edgy, slightly common face. As you enter, she approaches and seems to be very kind. She speaks, making eye contact with each of you. She comes in. Has a lovely, just melodic voice. As you come, you see very prim and proper. Her shoulders back, a very elegant pose. She stands up and welcomes each of you. I'm told the Phandalin Phive has arrived to see me. Please take a seat. What do I owe this honor? May I? And as you guys kind of come in and start taking a seat, may I get you drinks? We have a wide variety within our collection that I can offer you.
I would certainly enjoy a nice hot cup of tea, please.
Is there a seat big enough for Griswold?
There is, yeah. There's a number. Actually, this is a fairly well decorated area. You find a variety. It seems she entertains a lot of guests. So throughout the entire room, you can see a number of things that are sized for each of you. Actually, there, Reed, you managed to find a little couch that is kind of perfectly suited for you. Griswold, almost a throne-like chair that's not quite as elegant as her recliner of types, but of your size. The room actually seems to hold a variety of these different sizes. Like it's often entertaining a fairly eclectic group. Tea and anything else, and she's gonna have Gorvanol just take your orders if anything that you'd like, and he's gonna bring you back on a tray, whatever drinks you request. So you can kind of spread out through the room. She appears to be very trusting of you. And what do I owe the honor of the Phandalin Five joining me here?
Am I doing this? Or Reed?
Oh,
You doing
Bard all the fucking way.
it?
Or Reed, one or the other.
I'll approach her and say, Lady Dawnflower, might I introduce myself as Warwick? And yes, we are the Phandalin Five. We have we've heard of some of the troubles that you've been facing with your missing son, and we've come to offer our aid in helping in his safe return.
Jacob, such a young, lovely boy, really coming into his own. Are you familiar with Jacob? Has he worked with the Phandalin Five in the past? I can see he would be of great help to you. I can imagine he has hero in his genetics. My uncle was a great adventurer once, and so Jacob is taking after him.
Jacob sounds like such a wonderful child, and I'm so sorry
He
that
really is, and she's gonna look off adoringly.
can I say, is she being genuine when she says that, or is she being completely sarcastic? Like, does she genuinely adore this kid and think nothing wrong of him?
Go ahead and give me an insight check.
I would love to help with that if possible, because
I know
yeah,
Oh, good thing with the advantage. 23.
She seems to genuinely believe it. She is no sarcasm in her voice whatsoever. You see her kind of stare off adoringly, like she means it. She seems to think this boy is in the purest form.
Interesting. Damn it! I was really hoping we were going to catch her out. Yeah. So we've heard he's been missing for several days now, and we've actually heard it's become more of an issue with several other of the royal children missing as well. So, is there anything you can tell us about Jacob and maybe some of the friends he hangs out with, or you said he was very adventurous and courageous. Are there any places around the city he tends to visit?
Oh, young Jacob is fiercely independent. He is just stepping out of his shell and trying to take on the lordly nature that he has. He has been volunteering in the area, from what he tells me, going around helping those less fortunate, trying to build his network for extending his perception within this town. He does such good things, feeding the needy, giving coin to those that require it. You should see the amount of coin that he gives away on a weekly basis, particularly on the end of the weeks. Just he comes to us asking with such a large heart for more to give, always wanting to give more. And so we give it to him, and he goes around the city providing it to those in need, helping feed them. Such a lovely boy. And he will do this for days at a time. He's so kind that he will sometimes forget to come home. He's so busy giving back.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah,
So
Jake.
you could probably find him in the tougher areas of the town, helping those that require it. The area of those that are less fortunate is where he spends most of his time, just to help guide them back to somewhere that's they can be of use to this town.
Our
What a
children,
good boy.
such wonderful things in our lives, right? Jacob reminds me of somebody that I used to be very close with. So I'd love to help you find. Are you concerned at all with him not being back, or do you think he might show up one of these days?
Concerned, I believe, and she can kind of look. I believe I saw him. Oh, I've seen him sometime. I I believe the help has seen him sometime recently. I mean, I don't see him often, but I'm told that he has been in and out sometimes. And she kind of looks confused for a moment. He's been around, I'm sure. I have no concerns about young Jacob.
does she seem to be slurring her words or anything like that?
Loopy in the slightest. Go
Not. Give me a perception check.
Okay.
ahead, big man.
Am I doing this with advantage, G?
Since you're getting help from Warwick, sure.
Perception. Yeah, we all know how this is gonna roll.
18.
Okay.
The advantage paid off.
Yeah.
She's not appear to be slurring her words or loopy in any form. She appears to be, from your best perception, just a bit removed from the situation. Perhaps not the most
Oblivious.
attentive parent.
Interesting. What staff or what help around the house? What staff does he normally interact with? We'd love to ask them a few questions. And to see if they might know where Jacob is.
Oh well, he's very kind to all of the staff. I'm sure young Gorvanal here could tell you what a good boy he is. He treats Gorvanal with the utmost respect. And as she kind of turns away, you see Gorvanal in the corner. Shake his head.
He treats
but,
Gorbanal.
but not look that general direction.
We need to get Gorvanal hammered.
But
I don't even
generally,
think you gotta do that.
he works very closely with all of our staff here. I mean, they're all like mother and father figures to him. So any of the cooking staff, the cleaners, the butler, all of the would be able to tell you what a strong young man he's turned into. Good moral fiber.
We'll have to talk to Gorbanal here shortly. What can you
Could
tell
you
us
have
about?
Go-
Oh, go
could
ahead.
you have
What's that?
Gorbanal show us his room?
Oh, absolutely. I would be honored to have the Phandalin 5 in his room, as I'm sure young Jacob would be. Perhaps someday you'll be honored enough to travel with him as an adventurer, if he's willing to take a step out from his lordly duties.
If you could get him to return maybe today or tomorrow, I'd love to talk to him about the potential of joining the Phandalin 5.
Oh yes, well, I mean, I wouldn't personally, but I'm sure one of the help would be able to direct you to the right location. They keep a good eye on Jacob at all times. Once again, you just see Gorbanal.
I think Gorbanal is going to be my best friend. I like this guy already. Well, lady of the estate, Lady Dawnflower, thank you for your time. I think what we'll do now is I'm going to sip on this nice hot cup of tea, and I think we're going to have Gorbanal show us to his room. The Jacob's room, not Gorbanal. Or maybe it will be Gorbanal's room.
Or maybe
All right. Gorvanal looks a little aroused. He's excited about that. No, I kid. Well, but I am truly once again honored to have the Phandalin 5 visit me. Should I require you for anything, I will be happy to reach out for your assistance. It is most kind of you to offer,
By chance,
which you've clearly not done.
before we leave, you don't know. I heard there was an open estate down the way. You know anything about it?
I am familiar. The Cromwell estate. One of the most respected lords amongst the city. He lived to the strong age of 172 before finally
Holy
giving in.
Nice. Interesting. So is his estate up for auction? You know if he has family that might be taking over the
Lord Cromwell had no family. He was fairly isolated in that estate. I believe it would be taken over by some very important family within the city. I can only imagine it will be well suited for the right family.
or right group, such as the Phandalin 5.
Oh, Warwick, I love your sense of humor.
No, I'm not kidding. I would love to be neighbors with you.
Again. Oh, that's just.
She thinks
Warwick,
for peasants, Keegan. She thinks for peasants. Just so,
so
you know.
entertaining. But Warwick, I appreciate it. Some lordly family, some nobility shall move in soon. They may, however, be looking for some guards, and I'm sure with the reputation of the Phandalin Five, from what I'm aware, you would be in a very well-suited position to help guard the estate.
Interesting. Well, thank you so much for keeping us in mind. And thank you for the tea.
Absolutely, it is the finest in the area. Well, ta-ta. And she's just gonna kind of wave you off in a very informal way.
As we're walking up the steps, making sure we get away from the lady of the estate, I'm just gonna walk up to Reed and be like, "If you want to rob this place blind, I don't give a fuck."
He already did. He already did. He already did.
Quietly, very quietly.
Maybe when we return the child.
Anyways, so we'll go talk to so Gaylord, what's his name? Gorvin.
Gorvanal.
Gorbanal. Gorbanal, if you wouldn't mind, we would love to see Jacob's room.
Right this way, sir. And he's going to kind of lead you through up a set of stairs, just gorgeous stairs that kind of wrap around to a large balcony, up to a room that is the size of most houses that you've known as you come in. And it seems to be fairly organized, a little bit cluttered, unkempt, but nothing special. A nobility level room. You see a number of what appears to be fairly well-off weapons and clothing and items that are just tossed askew like they are of little value. You see them kind of tucked in corners, covered in dust. Not to be unexpected from what you see, but nothing that immediately stands out. Go ahead and give me a perception check for whoever wants to, and I assume since multiple you were there with advantage.
I rolled an unnatural 20, so I'll without advantage. Oh, I'll go with advantage. Fuck it, just to say. Okay,
You guys
yeah.
are rolling. I'll hold off.
20.
Okay. Yeah, looking around, the room seems to be kind of teenager-esque with very high-end stuff. You don't notice anything out of the ordinary right off the bat. Seems to be fairly untouched. Again, a number of items just kind of hanging around. Not an unnatural room by any means, other than being very large. He seems to have everything that you could possibly imagine. You see some fencing gear, some training, some art, there's a number of instruments there. Seems to be a very eclectic offering, most of which untouched and not well taken care of. You see scratches on them. They're kind of beaten up a little bit, just abused in one form or another.
Hey, Reed, take a look as I lift this up, and I'm going to lift the mattress up.
You find a number of things under that mattress, some of which you do not want to. You find High Elf Weekly, what appears to be a publishing with some very classy sketches. You find so it appears to be some nobility rings under there. There's some other high-end jewelry that's kept under there at the moment for men. You find a few token items for perhaps utilizing with the opposite sex. You also find with that perception roll a couple of things that seem to be tucked away just a little bit more. A little leather bag that's kind of tucked underneath the mattress beyond sight as well. And as you pull that out, you find a number of gemstones in there. A nice, fairly strong collection of gemstones. Some gold and platinum coins as well that seem to be kept in there. What appears to be some various gambling paraphernalia. But certainly it seems to be his stash of valuables. Valuable coinage, I should say.
As they're lifting up the mattress, I'm gonna make sure I'm talking to Gorbanov, whatever his name is. That way he's looking at me and not paying attention to what they're doing.
Give me a performance check.
Oh.
What stones did you say there were?
23.
1 second. Okay, 23. You keep him fairly well distracted then. So you find a number of gemstones in there of various sizes. You find a Uh, 1 second here. Let me pull this together.
Stack of marbles. Petey.
Ryan, as you pocket that a little bit, Caldrum kind of looks at you, just.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
the jewelry that's laying around closer to the front edge, is there any that looks common or not from royalty, just like standard jewelry?
They all appear fairly high end. Nothing unique like you would see in a museum, but all of which that you kind of saw Glashaw decked out in, all of them appear fairly noble. You don't see anything that stands out. No, you don't see anything that stands out that would be, call it, common.
It's not from Claire's.
No.
I'm gonna.
And sorry, going back to the gemstones, you find a number of some amber, some amethyst, some jade, some pearl. You're aware that everything you see, each gemstone is worth generally between about 50 gold pieces and about 200 gold pieces.
I'm gonna take an amethyst, and if there's a ring.
Yep, you find a fairly ornate nobility ring. It doesn't appear to be specific, just a high-end ring, like not to his house specifically, but just a well-decorated high-end ring that you would expect to see at any high-end jewelry store.
Yeah, just something that's not very not linked as well.
Yep, yeah, there's nothing personal on it. Most of these sets of jewelry don't seem to have any house names on them or anything else. Just higher end gemstones and very ornate carvings. So the amethyst you take, this transparent deep purple piece, it's worth about 100 gemstones or 100 gold pieces. Sorry, not gemstones. And the ring that you take it, you notice some various inlaid gemstones as well, worth about 225 gold pieces.
And I'll look at Caldrum and say, we may need this. And then I'm going to take the whole bag and ask Gorbachev if he can tear down these walls.
Get that man to a Pizza Hut.
And
Before
then
we start talking to him, I'm just gonna look in the hallways to see if there's any other maids or servants or anybody else around. I want to make sure.
Yeah, and you see a guard make his usual routine pass. Doesn't seem to give you any second eye. Just kind of walks right past you. But otherwise, the hallway is now empty as he walks past.
you know anything about this bag and why he keeps it hidden?
I try not to go through Master Jacob's things. I imagine each young man must keep his valuables somewhere. He's kind of gonna look at the other paraphernalia there, as he says valuables and lets it roll off the tongue a little bit.
As
Valuables
he says his
somewhere.
valuables, I'm gonna say, you mean his parents?
Well, Master Jacob has generally made his parents' valuables his own.
What are your real thoughts on Jacob?
He's gonna kind of shift his eyes. I wouldn't.
With that, I'm gonna cast Thaumaturgy and close the door.
He's gonna momentarily jump. And you see he's been fairly well composed thus far. He does start to get a little bit nervous as he's looking around at each of you, still hauling these weapons through in the now closed magical door. As you're grilling him, Master Jacob and Lady Glashaw would not like me to speak out of turn. Please don't require me to do so. This is a very good job for me.
Sounds like you don't want him found.
He's gonna shift his eye. Did I say that out loud? Give me a persuasion check in general for this conversation. An advantage with the door closed and the help from Caldrum.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it.
2 threes, huh?
Wow.
He's gonna kind of shift his eyes around. Master Jacob has been a good boy to me. He's a lad trying to find himself. And he kind of shuts up pretty tight.
Gorvanal, we saw you shaking your head, and Lady Glacia was talking. We know you don't believe that. We're not trying to get you to say anything that is untrue. We're simply trying to get to the bottom of this so we can help these kids return safely. We understand that what you might have to say may not be pleasant. We're just asking for the truth.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Or maybe he doesn't want us to find the kids.
Maybe.
I'm gonna lean into and be like, and just because we may find him and bring him home doesn't mean that we might not be able to teach him a lesson before he gets back. Sounds like he's kind of an asshole.
Does that change anything with the roll?
He still looks a little weary as he glances around. Master Jacob has his challenges.
All right,
However,
here's what I rolled
as
on
does each team.
my
What?
port rolls. Fuck this guy. Where'd my port rolls go?
Since we're beating around the bush, what about the
He is
people
very much
hangs
beating
out
around the
with?
bush.
Yeah. What about the people he hangs out with?
They too are. Now I'm carrying your 3 over here. They too are typical young men trying to find their way in the world under their parents' looming shadow.
And they must pay you well here to lie that hard.
I would not comment on the lady's pay structure or my compensation here.
Gorvanal, it does sound like you don't want.
He is sweating bullets
Wow.
right now, by the way, as you're watching him.
It sounds like you don't want the boy to be found.
That's not true. I want most Jacob to be very safe. I don't know why you would say that.
Let's be clear
Warwick,
here with your wording, Corbell. You said safe, not found.
I don't believe I did.
Warwick,
Excuse
Warwick
me.
Reed. I think we need to go downstairs and tell Lady Glacia that Gorvanal seems to be hiding something that is hindering the boy's return or his safety. Again, we were
let's
only
be
trying to
clear
make
here.
sure that.
I don't think either of them really care.
Give me.
That is the truth.
Out of
Give me a
character, I just
persuasion
want
check
this.
with advantage. Either or. Go ahead. What's that?
I'll wait for this. Am I rolling this or is Reed rolling this?
Whichever one of you guys are kind of tag teaming it right now. You guys can each give me a roll actually for persuasion.
Normal, if both of us roll?
Yeah, normal, both of you.
All right, homie. Yep, nope. No, you hate to forget. Well, hold.
Oh my god, you guys suck.
But hey, Garrett, but hold on. Before we, never mind.
I'm holding.
Never mind.
Not
we
typically
already
the
know.
talker. Let's be real here.
We already know how this is gonna work. So I don't think it'd be fair.
Did I
Never
roll
mind.
my port rolls beforehand? I just look back and I cannot fucking find them anywhere.
Your Porton rolls were from
6
the
and an 8.
last.
Were they 6 and an 8?
Were those the last ones?
I thought
Yeah.
they were pretty low. They
Yeah.
were really low.
Yeah, 17 and 20 before
On,
that. Then you went to 6 and 8, and that was your last roll for
Yeah.
today. Yeah,
That was October 9th at 11:20 or 11:19 p.m.
that was the last session. Yeah.
And I scrolled over them. I'm gonna wait to see what happens after.
Nothing is gonna fucking.
He
happen
seems to
because-
collect himself, and your accusations are certainly out of character and out of place. I have taken care of Master Jacob for the majority of his life and have kept him safe thus far. I wish to see no harm come to him. You may tell the Lady Glacia whatever you wish. And he seems to have a level of composure to him, not quite persuaded by your discussion.
All right, let's see if this works. I'm gonna cast suggestion, and use a 6 to replace whatever he's gonna roll.
Okay.
Uh,
And what do you suggest?
oh man, I suggest you answer all of our questions truthfully about Master Jacob.
And you see kind of a cloud come over his eyes and then momentarily disappear as he relaxes a little bit from his very formal nature.
Interesting. All right, boys, up to it. Have at it. Glassy's on our side now.
I'm gonna look over at Reed.
So,
Real?
Gorbachev, what can you really tell us about how you feel about Jacob? This is between us. Closed doors.
He's gonna look back at that door one more time. He still seems nervous once again. He momentarily maintained a facade of professionalism, and now he kind of slinks out of it. And you see him worried a little bit about saying anything bad. He is an ungracious, whining, sulky young man that does not deserve to carry the name. He's nothing but trouble.
This
And he
whole
is the bane of
middleman,
my existence.
this little
The lady of the house
middleman,
is... What's that?
this little middleman philanthropy. What's he really doing?
I do not know specifically, but I can only imagine that he is either spending money on things that he should not be, or losing the money in gambling halls. I certainly know that he's going to look around once again, a little nervous for his very nervous, in fact. I know that boy has never given away anything in his life, unless it was for his own good.
Have you ever considered telling the lady of the house this?
Yes, I've certainly considered it. I have thought about it many times. I have also thought about the fact that as soon as I did so, I would be kicked out of the house so quickly, fired, and not be able to retrieve a job in Yartar ever again.
Nice.
And
Damn,
so
you
I
already
would
got
then be
fired.
would be living in the desert of Anarok, basically sweeping up for the leftovers of the attempt to find whatever I could make my eating beetles and making my living on whatever I can find. So yes, I've certainly thought about it, and I have tossed that thought aside so very quickly. And I am a good little boy. I listen to my master. I perform my duties, and I go home at night and partake in a number of drinks of whiskey.
I'm just gonna shake my head and be like, I feel sorry for you, Glassy. So whenever Jacob comes home with his friends, have you ever heard them maybe talking about places that they visited or what they're doing with all this money? Any specific taverns or gambling halls they've been to?
Well, most certainly, he either will brag or complain constantly. The young petulant kid will either... 1 second. Okay. Either brag about his great winnings for the night or consistently complain that the games are rigged and that he has been stolen from because he would not lose under his own accord. And he speaks of various taverns. I have heard him talk about and I apologize as I am not well versed in some of these seedier places within town. However, he has mentioned the Frisky Frog, which he is apparently a favorite of, as well as the Antlered Doe. But the young master seems to enjoy most of his time at the Grand Dame, which, from what I understand, has He may have single-handedly funded that river boat himself,
Grand.
based on the amount of money he's lost.
Turn to the group and say, well, I think that's probably a pretty good place to start.
Do you know if he has a game of choice that he likes, or a favorite game, a gaming table?
I am not a gambler myself, so I do apologize if I'm not overly familiar with it. I have heard of him speak of a few. He seems to be a bit of a fan of Kobold's Knuckles, if I heard him right. I believe that is a game. He also thinks
Kobold's
he
what?
is
Knuckles.
Kobold's Knuckles.
Griswold's gonna fucking play that and lose so much money. It's gonna be unreal.
Very excited about that.
The Master Jacob also seems to think that he is an expert in Sava. However, I have seen him play once or twice here, and if I am any judge of character, he's going to try and hold himself back a little bit before he just kind of spews it out from the suggestion. He is the equivalent of a dried fern when it comes to intellect.
Awesome. We have one of those too.
And you know Sava as a version of almost chess, like in nature. Two players, one-on-one, use ebony pieces, kind of resembling warriors and mages. So you're fairly familiar with that one. The game's to destroy the other person's noble house. It's fairly common amongst the nobles, but it's kind of leaked down into the lower culture.
All right. Oh.
Not only is the young man out of his depth, but allow me to say that I have met small toads that seem to have a higher degree of intellect than that young boy. I believe the expression is the wheel is spinning, but the hamster is most definitely dead.
This guy hates Jacob.
You get that he despises him with a passion, and he has just been waiting to let this all off his chest for so long. And it is forced to come out, but he is just verbal diarrhea now about this kid.
Warwick, if we buy that house, I'm all for hiring this guy.
100%. I was thinking the exact same thing. Exact same thing. Yep.
Yeah, so that's still going. He is going to continue to just barrage a layer of insults about how stupid Jacob is in very colorful tones. And the more he continues to riff, the more off track he gets, comparing Jacob to a number of things, both creatures that are both real and fantasy, a number of objects, including rocks, ferns, logs, dead woods, etc., as well as linking him to the most infinitesimal creatures you can imagine. Mostly seem to be slimy and loud at the same time.
Do you know anything of these other two boys that went missing? The Chamb3r kid of the Rosolio?
I am quite familiar with the Rosolio kid, the Chamb3r kid. He has been over here a number of times. As dumb as Master Jacob may be, as low as intellect, is as high as slimy as Master Chamb3r is. You look to find a man that is attempting to wiggle his way into any place that he can. That is your boy. You can trust nothing that comes out of his mouth. He is a devil silver-tongued beast that should not be allowed to speak by any means, because you cannot trust a word that comes out of his mouth, and yet he says it so eloquently that people just fawn over him. Frankly, it would be doing a favor to this entire town if we were to accidentally slip into one of the local channels, be caught in a fishing net, and held down for numerous minutes until he could afford to breathe. At that point, he would be covered in a slime that represented the true nature of his being.
Let me ask you something.
You see him, as he lets that out, a big sigh of relief, like he actually said it.
Let me ask you something. Do you know who took him?
Say it again?
Do you know who took the kids?
And he's gonna momentarily pause. They've been
Colonel
taken.
Mustard in the room with a candlestick.
He looks, and under suggestion, he looks momentarily confused. They have been taken. You know this.
Yeah, just kind of seeing if maybe maybe you did something to him. We're not sure that he's been taken just yet.
Master Warwick, I would, if I were to do something to young Jacob, could I have afforded it? I would have walked away from this household, playing a lute and skipping along town with the utter joy and happiness of a man that has never known stress, and a gleeful appreciation of all that is good in this world. And I would be elated. However, I would then be immediately sentenced to death, and as well as fired from this job, pushed into poverty, and rejected. I would never do anything to young Jacob. I keep my tie tight. I keep my opinions to myself, and I do my duty. In fact, I am very confused right now as to why I am saying everything that I am saying, as this is not me whatsoever. I don't know what is happening right now.
Glasgow, don't worry about
Very
it.
confused.
I feel like you needed to get this off your chest, and I appreciate the bout of honesty. Rest assured, this stays between us.
I assure you,
Of the
I will
three
regret.
boys-
Say that again. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, I assure you, I will regret every bit of this once I come to my sane mind, and I now have concerns about my own mental health. Sorry, I counter.
Of the three boys, does one seem to be, I don't know, like the leader of the Rascallions or something? Like does one seem to be the
The leader of the pack.
yeah, exactly.
Based on the best of my knowledge, they each trip over themselves to be the most incompetent of the group. Each struggles to be to have the most foolish idea and to do the stupidest thing. I am actually continuously impressed with the level of incompetence and the stupidity amongst them, and so they do equally vie for that particular role. However, they do seem to follow some other men. Neither Mr. Salzburg or Mr. Dawnflower are particularly, shall we say, the most alpha of the groups. I do not know who they tend to follow, but they talk a big game behind the scenes, but they certainly are not natural born leaders.
Do the heads of the houses of these other two families share opinions very similar to Glasgow of their boy, or would we find some truthfulness in talking with them?
I do wish I could speak more intelligently on that. However, I am not familiar with those particular households. I am relatively isolated amongst this particular location, so I am not able to provide you much information on that.
Yeah, to see if you heard anything.
I believe the lady of the house is particularly, shall we say, rose-colored glasses to young Jacob. I don't believe the others are as invested as her.
Interesting.
Is the lord of the house wear the same colored glasses as Glasgow?
I can only imagine that he would, should he ever actually show his face here. The lord of the house works so much that I'm not sure he would recognize his own wife and son.
What does he do?
As a lord of the Yatar, he is quite big. You know what? I have no idea. He
No.
talks a big game, but allow me to speak frankly. It appears he attends many parties and hobnobs with a number of people as well as traveling, but I do not know what he actually does of any level of value.
I think we all know people like that.
Warwick. Oh,
You said it. I was about to as well. Well, with that glass staff, I think we're good. Don't-
Glass.
I don't
Oh wow, okay, throwback here to Glassstaff.
I don't have any further questions. You've given us everything that that I think we need. So thank you for your honesty, and again, rest assured this stays.
Ooh, in the room, is there any desks or anything? Did we go through?
There
any,
are. There
did
are
we
actually
go-
two separate desks, both covered with clutter. Appears to be no level of actually usage, other than storage spaces. Anything in particular you're looking for on the desks?
Any drawers, anything like that, just to look in? Did we?
Yeah, each seem to
or
have a
did
number
we
of
look-
drawers in certain states of disarray and openness. Go ahead and give me an investigation check as you're looking through them.
Okay, there we go.
You got this. Nice. Good shit, man.
You find a number of things. Most seem to be some levels of professionalism, some training. You find some musical notes in there. All things that you would kind of expect from a particular lord, lord in training, shall we say. However, you do find a few other notes of. It appears you find a number of pages with his sketchings on them of what appears to be his attempts to cheat at a few different gambling games. As you're reading through them, you notice that it almost looks like this Kobold's Knuckles, based on the notations that he's included there, trying to find ways to game the system, and or suggestions about how perhaps he can win without truly trying, or other ways that he may be able to work around and win in less noble ways. You also find some notes about particularly valuable areas within the city, perhaps some lords. Where you find a little bit of dirt on some of the other lords as well, that he seems to be keeping track of, the kids that are up to no good. Some of their doings as well. None that you recognize as the missing boys. You don't see anything about Artan and Timothy in particular. It just seems to be a little bit of a notebook with some dirt on it. But that's about it. That's about all you find.
I think I'm done.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Actually, I'm gonna go up to Reed and be like, "Hey, Reed, that book did we see Caldrum like find the book and everything? Like, I'm still talking there."
Caldrum, are you keeping it to yourself at all?
No, I'm actually going to pull that out and hand it over to either Warwick or Reed, whoever wants to take a look at it.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, you guys obviously get it.
yeah, I think we should definitely hold on to this. I don't think that guy's gonna let us keep it though. I would assume he's probably not gonna let us walk out of the room. I'll whisper to Reed. Reed, any chance you can take this?
Prison wallet.
Can always try.
And he seems pretty relaxed at this point. Doesn't seem to really care what you're doing.
Nice. Well, in that
Yeah.
case, keep it. I'm gonna hold on to it for
How long does suggestion last?
8 hours.
8 hours.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Hey, Gorbachev, we're gonna take the this book as it may help us find him. We'll bring it back with him.
Well, I suggest you hide it, because should the lady of the house find it, she would be most upset and probably send her entire guard after you. However, the lady of the house also wouldn't notice if the desk underneath her went missing, as long as she had her valuables along with her, and she was the center of attention. So, frankly, you can get away with taking it without any possible issue whatsoever. Eventually, I'm going to come to my sane mind and be very upset about it and beside myself. But as of right now, it appears that I have no interest in or concern with it.
Nice.
Can we just pause for a moment and look at the irony that just happened? That we didn't want to go to Candlekeep for a book, but then we spent 2
Yeah, yeah.
sessions
I was
to get this book
I was
that
just
just
thinking-
happened.
Hey, we can
We should take
I
that
like
back.
it.
It was
high
much
priest-
more
we-
dangerous, correct? And we had no idea on how to get it. See, we
For
just
sure, it's
suggest-
still, there's some irony there, that's all. I just had to laugh, sorry.
It's pretty good.
The high priestess of Yartar. Found your book. See what she does. All right, Gorby. I think I'm good. I think we're good to head on out of the house. If you wouldn't mind escorting us.
I would be happy to escort you because whatever is happening here, the sooner it ends, the better off it is for me, as I feel that something very bad is currently happening, but I don't know what.
Don't worry, you'll feel better in about 8
Yep.
hours. Fine.
Yeah.
After
or
you get-
sooner if you.
I'm
the
not
sooner
sure I
if you
believe you,
dropped-
but
I'm not.
Gorvinal, how many guards are around this estate?
there are currently 10 guarding this facility.
Roll for initiative. Anybody? No, we're not. All right.
Griswold pulls out the halberd. Look at take him. Just kidding.
No, I think yeah, that's it for me. I'm good. I'm ready to
Lose some money?
yeah, I'm ready to head on out and head on down to the Bywaters.
The
I'm assuming
Great
that's been pretty
Dane.
quick though.
Great Dane? Great Dane.
We were probably only there for a little while, so we'll yeah.
The Bywaters probably on like the other side of town,
Grand
like
Dane.
not so good parts of town, I would assume.
Yeah. Cool, yeah, I'm following suit. Whatever the
Yeah.
group's doing. I'm
We can
doing.
actually probably do a few other things until a little late at night, whenever the bad folk.
Yeah, Grizz, maybe you could read that book. It seems it helped Jacob in his endeavors.
Helped
Maybe a
him get
few tips and
lost.
tricks. Yeah,
Coming up.
well,
Be right back. I gotta put the kids to bed. BRB.
that'd be a great way to find him, wouldn't it?
Oh, do we say goodbye to the lady as we go, or is she's still in the room or whatever?
She's in the other room, so it's up to you if you guys want to pass through and specifically make a detour to her. She's kind of, there's actually a path on the way out of the house that you don't need to pass by her, so it's entirely up to you.
If nobody else does, I will peek in and thank you, fair lady. We hope that Jacob returns soon, unharmed, as of course.
Oh, of course, I'm sure he'll be back in no time. If you'd like to wait, you certainly can. He should be here sometime soon, and he would be honored to know that you were here to pay your appreciation to him.
Yeah.
Banish her, Caldrum. Just
Yeah,
banish
yeah.
her. Just banish her.
My father was he was always teaching at the school, sort of thing, but he was still a good father. I'll leave with just that. That's all.
All right.
Have a good day.
Please stop by anytime. It is always a pleasure. If you give me some notice next time, I'd be happy to throw a party in honor of the Phandalin Phive being such close friends with the Dawnflowers.
Okay. We will let you know.
We'll see if we can pencil you in. Biznitch.
Reed bites his cheek.
All right. So you guys
I
managed
will
to leave the
make my way
house. As you do so, once again approaching the guards outside. They're just gonna kind of wave to you guys. Call us.
Yeah, so I guess we are we heading over to
The Great Dame,
yeah, that one.
Grand Dame,
Grand
Jesus.
Dame. Yep.
The Grand Dame? All right. So heading over to the Grand Dame, you find your way as you ask a few people. They seem to point you towards the direction of the docks. You make your way out, and as you come up on it, you kind of get directed once again to the, I won't say the seedier area, but it's certainly not the nicest. It seems to be a little bit in the upper part of town. Some high-end places along the way, some nice nightlife, and it's still fairly early in the day. So as you come upon this, it appears to be almost entirely empty at the moment. A couple guards, the actual gates up right now. This large ship, this river boat is just kind of floating right next to the river. You can see that it does appear to be very impressively done, but at the moment, pretty well empty. Seems like it may pick up later in the day.
What time of day is it?
So it's only about 2 o'clock right now. It's still fairly early.
What time does it usually get busy?
Assuming you want to ask kind of like some of the local dock workers and whatnot.
Yeah.
So as you know, doesn't appear to be anyone directly related to it, but you ask some of the dock workers there. They mentioned that from dawn to dusk, the wooden boat's just kind of moored at the city docks and tends to be untouched. They load it up, they kind of resupply it, but right around dusk, a number of higher end clients tend to start making their way onto the boat, and from dusk until late into the night, it will be quite busy.
I'm gonna pull Reed. I'm gonna pull everyone aside, making sure, hopefully, to not be heard. We could go in and put on a show. Maybe I could go in and drink, act like I'm winning, and as people are coming in, make a. I'm sure Warwick can make a show of that, and I'm sure some of the higher end folk would love to beat someone from the Phandalin Phive that is up on their game, so to speak. And that'd be a good way to schmooze some people. I don't know. Griswold doesn't gamble, so he's not sure.
Well, that's the hope, is that you're losing money eventually.
Yes. I figured people would, if I appeared to be winning for a little while, they might think that my luck is going to run out. And I don't know. I'm certainly up to suggestions. I don't do this often, so.
We would need Warwick for that.
Damn that bard! Did he go off and campaign for himself again?
Are you forgetting the conversation we just had? With a certain guard.
Oh, that's a fair point. No, he's doing.
Honestly, it's early enough in the day. I wouldn't mind going to go back and getting a little bit of rest. I did use some spells earlier.
Short rest?
Well, I need a long rest, actually.
Oh god, okay.
Rest, early dinner, get back out at 10?
Yeah.
Alright. I mean, hey, that works.
Okay.
For that.
So you guys are all gonna head back to. Where are you heading back to? What's the plan? Where do you guys want to go?
Where did we stay before in town here?
Does the Great Dame offer hospitality?
That's.
It does not. It seems to not have it. The dockhand says that no one actually stays there behind during the day other than deckhands. There are no rooms to actually stay at. This is purely a come on board, leave again at the end of the night sort of thing.
International waters, I get it.
How about the Frisky Frog or the Antlered Doe? Do they have rooms available? Or are they just taverns?
What didn't quite come up, but they seem to be mostly Mostly shabby bars is what you as you ask around about places that you certainly don't want to go once it gets too late. However, they do recommend there's a few places in the area, particularly the nearest the docks that you're recommended to is the tavern and the inn.
And it's in the questionable part of town.
It's just on the outskirts, like it's on the borderline. It's not the seediest of places, but it's certainly not a reputable place within town. So it's kind of right on the outskirts of the questionable area. It's the nearest kind of into that place to that area. If you do want somewhere that is within the seedy area of the town, that is a tavern or an inn as well, they send you to the Endless Circle.
The first one you
It's up to
mentioned.
you guys.
Let's go to the first one, but that's fine.
The tavern and the inn.
Yeah, why not?
Alright.
Okay, so you guys don't want to be you kind of want to be in the outskirts of the seedy area of the town, not specifically in it, right?
We could do that.
Actually,
that's
sorry.
that's-
I misunderstood that. I flipped those. I apologize.
No. So the tavern and the inn's kind of like on the borderline. Like it's not the seedy area. It's kind of right on the outskirts of it, like the quasi reputable, but certainly not any higher level stuff. So kind of like a lower middle class area. The Endless Circle is what you're told to kind of be a very shady inn, and that's an inn versus the Antler Doe and the Frisky Frog, which are just taverns.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
In the circle. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this shit.
You do the Endless Circle?
Let's go.
Okay. So you're not too far from the docks then as you approach a fairly rundown building. Seems to be like four levels high. Four levels high. And you come up on it and you see the name, the Endless Circle, with a diagram of a 3-legged horse on it. Just kind of waving off, and it seems fairly old. Entering in there, it's middle of the day. A lot of cracks in the walls, so the light's kind of shining through. A lot of tobacco smoke already there. A few ruffians, what appears to be a lot of sailors, with dried leathery skin in there. Seems to be the locals. They momentarily kind of look up, glance your way, and then go right back to drinking their drinks in this small little tavern. Very tiny little tavern. Mostly, you know that it appears to be some rooms off the distance. So as you come up, you see a old male human, cropped, straight brown hair, brown eyes, very rugged, pockmarked, golden skin. Looks like at one time he may have been a sailor. You can see his tough, leathery skin, kind of condensed from over the years. Fairly muscular build for a middle height guy. Kind of a short, spotty beard as well. He's gonna kind of just give you a look. What do you need? Doesn't even glance. Just glances up, back down, right back to what he's doing. Not interested.
How many rooms do you?
How many rooms do you have available?
Most of them. Say 6.
7 of us, right?
Maybe 7. Could be 8 of them. I don't know.
How much for 7 rooms?
He's gonna kind of now picks himself up, looks you up and down. Seems to think you might have some lively ones on here. Well, 7 rooms. One for each of you. Saying separately, of course.
I mean, we may frequent each other's rooms. Who knows? Kind of a rowdy bunch.
Open the doors.
Well, if you're a ratty bunch, he's gonna kind of look at Griswold. Well, there's a surcharge for extra large, if just in case.
Surcharge my ass.
Aye. So we have a special going on right now for that. Shall we say 5 silver pieces a room? That's the special going rate. We just did some upgrades recently. And you kind of look around and everything's falling apart. You, as he says this, it's a painting on the wall that's not even distinguishable anymore falls down, broken. As you can see, we're still in renovation mode.
I'm gonna say, what is it? It's like 10 silver per 1 gold, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
So basically half a gold is what per room is what he's charging.
I'm gonna say 2 gold pieces, and we call it a night.
He's gonna rub his chin. Get yourself a deal.
Cool. I'll toss him 2 gold pieces.
He's gonna just kind of toss the keys back to you, all 7 of them. Kind of flail around, right up the stairs.
Nice. All right. I will. I'll hand out the keys individually. And I'm gonna head on up.
He's gonna give you guys a second glance, then immediately go back to whatever he's doing, just sketching stuff down on paper.
So
as he slowly pockets the gold.
I'm gonna go rest. Apparently, you guys probably don't need to rest, because we really didn't get any battles or anything.
I'm gonna go back to my room though.
Yeah, there was some desire to rest across a few people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna head back to my room.
Good. So you guys make your way into the rooms, and as you enter these rooms, you think that perhaps you should have just camped outside the city. The squalor of these rooms is almost legendary. Walking in, you see a variety of vermin scatter. Some of them don't scatter. They seem to be fairly used to people and just kind of hang out, continue to stay on the bed. The tattered sheets, some smells reach you that they shouldn't be. A variety of stains. You see kind of some blood stains on the floor, what appears to be some fights. The rooms are covered in a wide variety of dust. These are perhaps some of the worst rooms you've ever seen in your lives.
Perfect.
Feels like
Warwick wants to be in. So roundabouts, what time would it be?
It's about 2:30 at this point. You guys didn't take long to find it.
Okay. So what do you guys want to take a couple hours, rest up, and then maybe meet back up at the front of this fine establishment, say 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then head on over?
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Yep. Do it.
Grizz, did you get your axe back?
I was gonna ask Garrett that. I assumed like 3 seconds ago, but I
Yeah,
ask
as you guys
for
left
it?
the room,
No. I forgot.
as you guys left, they were right there. Gorvanol had no interest. He was kind of following you guys out. Basically, just kind of grab your stuff. But you guys did manage to get him back.
Awesome. Then on that note, I'm gonna head up to my room, and I'm gonna rest it out. I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna jot down some stuff in my journal as I have been for a while. I'm gonna review the plans of Wave Echo Cave because I'm generally curious about what our drinking buddy who whipped Griswold's ass had. Sorry, Grizzy. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to take this moment to take a quick break? Say 10
Damn
minutes.
it!
Yeah.
What?
That's a good idea.
Nothing.
We'll take a quick 10-minute break. It is 10:36 right now. Let's say 10:45, so we got a late start. I gotta use the facilities myself.
You guys want to jump in the other Discord room lobby?
We shall do that, yes, to make it easy on you. To the makeout room it is.
Yeah, boys.
Welcome back.
Carl, I'll fight for you when we get into battle.
Why would you fight for me?
Got you, don't worry. You're still able to what wait, hold on. Did you run upstairs? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm upstairs, but I have my laptop up here. I just can't affect the stream.
I thought you were connecting remotely from your phone. Got it. Understood. Are you holding little Hazel?
Yeah.
Isn't it the cute? The best.
No.
She just like sleeps you and you're like, oh, this is precious. No?
You know,
After a while it gets annoying.
when she only sleeps for like 15 minutes and then startles herself awake, I'm like, just go to bed.
Alright, yeah, that sucks. That sucks. Yeah. Evelyn woke up this morning at 5:30 and we were at Peg and Dave's. So I usually I just let her moan it out to like 6:30. I'm trying to kick this 5 o'clock shit. And because I know she's literally only waking up because she's like, I'm used to getting a bottle. I'm like, fuck this. Like, no. So but
We are live, by the way.
had-
I just want to make sure you know this room is live.
that's fine. That
Okay.
for everyone watching, I love my daughter. I'm just trying to sleep train her properly because it's crazy. But no, I got her up at 5:30 and then she wouldn't go back to sleep. So I said, okay, well, looks like I'm getting up this morning. And then we sat on the couch and we watched Blippi. Not a sponsor yet. Not a sponsor yet. And we watched.
Fuck is Blippi?
Look it up. Look it up.
I don't want that in my search history.
Just look it up. Look it up. It's awesome.
I think it's some
I don't
Korean
believe you.
hentai or something.
Yeah, that's what I call
Probably.
them. It's a this dude makes millions doing he does like kid videos, like the one that my kids like to watch. It's a alphabet. He has these little pedestals and he has a box and it's a capital A and a lowercase a, and then he's like, let's open the box and see what's inside. And then he, pulls out like an airplane or something.
Is there ever a dead cat in there? Because that'd be funny.
No. There is one part where when he gets to L, he pulls out a lemon and a lime, and instead of like having a knife to cut them, he literally has a pair of pliers. And I'm like, I
This
get
guy
not
sounds
having
like a serial killer.
yeah, I was like, I get not having a knife, but having pliers and being like, it's so great to like literally just smash things, pulverize it. I'm like, okay, like I get it, like cool beans. Not my first choice, but okay.
What's this?
Yeah, Blippi.
A serial killer that he watches with his kid.
Yep. Yeah, we watched that and Spider-Man on Nick Jr. because they like the Team Spidey. It's pretty cool. So yeah, she just cuddled with me on the couch and we watched both of those for a little while. Yeah. So,
All right. Do we have everyone?
Yes.
Yep.
Eric just stepped away for a sec.
Okay, no problem. Sending a few things away here, so obviously he's taking care of it. Rook, you attuned as you requested earlier, without issue. And anybody else taking care of anything during this long rest?
Oh yeah, I wanted to attune to that Axe of Winter. Yep.
That's.
I wanted to.
Just kidding.
Identify a ring that we got off of Ella.
I'm ready. Huh? I didn't do it.
Why am I blanket on Ella?
Felgolos.
Bronze Dragon.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what are we doing with Felgolos? He's my boy.
Nothing.
Him and I are besties.
I feel like Warwick's that friend that thinks he's besties with everybody, and then when he walks away, they kind of roll their eyes.
Roll their eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's absolutely Warwick. I'm cool with it. You gotta
Alright.
have one. You gotta have one of them, right? Or two.
All right, let me share this over to you,
Hey,
Caldrum.
come here. Hey, come here. There you go, G. You're asking.
Oh my gosh! Holy crap! Is
Right?
he getting
Come
big
over here.
quick?
Oh, he's such a scaredy dog.
Really?
More so than Bruno.
He is. Oh, well, he makes Bruno look like courage.
He's not as floofy as I expected.
No, actually,
No,
I am
he's
surprised by
not
that. But
as-
he's gotten big quick.
He's hilarious because he's a mix of short hair and long hair. He's got a mane, and like halfway down his shoulder, his fur is longer, but then like the rest of him is like short fur. It looks hilarious.
Hey, gee, what happened to your camera?
Oops, sorry, I haven't turned it back on since we came back. Thank you. What happened to your camera?
I don't have one on.
Yeah, Ashley. What happened to your
Yeah,
damn
Ashley.
camera?
I'm hiding in the bedroom.
Alright, that's fair.
Good.
That's fair.
You just guys just want to see my cats running around like psychomaniacs.
What is the point of playing D&D if we can't see your cats running around like a maniac?
Oh, they're
Waiting for
sleeping
my
right now
cats.
next to me.
I got
We
my own
all
goddamn
come
cats
for
running around like
Frank.
maniacs.
I'm waiting
Yeah.
for mine to come down here, but I don't know where they're at.
Frank,
A lot of
Frank
you are
is Mia.
letting us down.
I'm sorry Dandelion's not on crack and running around like a psycho lunatic.
I think Frank's in the ethereal plane.
I don't know where Frank's at, and I'm really upset about it.
Caldrum,
the
that
real
should now be
Frank?
in your journal. All right, who else was doing what? Anybody else that needs? I'm responding to a couple of you here, but
I'm ready to get in there and gamble and lose money and get in a bar fight.
For the record, G, I would unattune to the Stormbreaker.
okay.
We can give it to Warwick.
I mean, if we
Well,
were
you
close
know-
up, he can ask.
Man.
Okay.
Come on, where are you? Sorry, let me just pull this one thing up here to respond to your questions. And where in the hell did I put you? Warwick, I'll get back to you on that so we can keep going, and that'll be coming over shortly.
Do you regain any spell slots on any short rest?
Depends what class you are. As wizard, no. As bard, no.
Okay.
As a wizard, you do.
You do on a short
With
rest?
arcane recovery.
Yeah.
With arcane recovery, yeah,
You do.
you get
Oh, that does kick
half
in.
your
Wow. Yeah. No, you're right.
half your spell level number of slots.
When does
Alright.
arcane recovery kick in? I think that was the case right off the bat. Is it? No, maybe not. Never mind, I'm wrong. Wait. Okay, yep, never mind. I was mistaken.
I like it. All right. I'm all good.
Okay.
All right, so you guys basically spending your time here until it approaches dusk. Then is that the plan?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So as you guys assemble, and let me just lob this guy over, and I'm a happy man. Good deal. So you guys assemble outside the endless circle. Right. Yep, the endless circle. Having rested a little bit, each gone about your own ways, decide to make your way back over to the seedier part of town. As dusk sets in, the area gets a little bit more concerning. You see more people kind of on the street asking for some coin, hovering in some corners, kind of trying to keep themselves warm. You see people just sitting around, a little worse off. Some giving you side glances from dark alleys. A lot of men outside just smoking various tobaccos outside of what appears to be pretty seedy areas as you make your way back towards the Grand Dame. The closer you get to the docks, basically that front tier of buildings, suddenly you go from extreme kind of destitution and concern to very high-end area. You noticed this earlier, almost like there's a facade from this dock area of wealth and this lack of poverty. So it's very distinct scaling from that first tier to the second tier as soon as you're kind of walking away from the riverbank. And again, you see a number of beggars along the way. As you guys approach, you see, as dusk setting in, a number of commoners up on the deck. A lot of work hands kind of moving around. You see oars being set up. You see tables being set up. Generally, some ropes being tossed aside. A lot of workers just kind of going about their day. A number of them, you can probably see about 15 to 20 of them on top, just moving around pretty easily on this very ornately decorated ship. Now you kind of see it in all its glory. Now that it's at dusk, you notice that this riverboat is lit up. It is well tended. It is really just has taken on a whole life of its own in this evening with a scattering of people and activity and the lights, and it stands out amongst all the other ships. It is more decorative than anything else, from what you can tell, as they're preparing to kind of leave shore. As you look at the docking area, kind of where the ramp that leads onto the boat from the docks, you see a few guards that seem to be checking the patronage. They have a list there as they're letting them through. You see a very high number of nobles being pulled up in carriages of one sort or walking up from different areas that are just dressed extremely ornately, very high end, a lot of jewelry, a lot of fancy dresses and suits. You just recognize a lot of very high class patrons making their way onto this ship, and there's about 20 of them in line as they're going through. You see a few that are, we'll call them less ornately dressed. They're a little more perhaps down on their luck, attempting to get through line, and you see the gentlemen that are at the ramp checking these people, kind of turn them away. A few guards come over and grab them and kind of escort them out of line, and you see them gingerly, not so gingerly, take them out of the dock area and kind of shove them aside. So they seem to be picking and choosing who they're letting in here. What do you guys want to do?
Before we approach the docks there, I'm gonna come up to Reed and Warwick. Well, reach down to Reed, I guess. Put my hands on their shoulders, and I'm going to cast Enhance Ability at 4th level, which allows me to target 3 creatures. On myself, I'm going to give Bull Strength, which gives me advantage on strength checks and doubling carrying capacity. On Warwick, I am giving where's it at? Which one is it? Eagle Splendor. You have advantage on charisma checks. And on Reed, I am giving Cat's Grace. You have advantage on dexterity checks, and you don't take falling damage from 20 feet or less.
All right, run me through that one more time. Reed has Cat's Grace.
Cat's Grace.
Look at that.
Warwick. Who are the other two that got it then?
Eagle Splendor.
Eagle Splendor for
And-
who?
Warwick.
For Warwick. And Bull Strength on myself.
Nice.
Okay.
And that lasts for an hour. Well, or as long as I concentrate.
Yep.
As we're right outside, do we notice any the people actually getting in, these higher noble people? Do we see
Yeah.
that they have like an invitation or anything, or is it just they're walking up, giving their name, and being checked off of a list?
Give me a perception check.
22. Oh, hold on. Gotta turn it back to public. 22.
So you watch a few of them go past just to see what's happening, and you see that they take a look at the clipboard. They don't seem to be handing them any invitation or anything. The person there kind of takes a look at their parchment in front of them, looks at them. You see them look up and down a few times, kind of scan them over, and either wave them through. And you start to recognize a pattern that those that are dressed appropriately, higher end, appear to be a bit higher in the level of wealth, are kind of pushed through pretty quickly. Even if they don't appear to be, as he's looking down at the parchment, doesn't necessarily appear in that parchment. You see him kind of look up and down a few times and then waffle and then let them in. Anyone that appears to be perhaps a little more down on their luck, not quite have that level of wealth, seem to be the ones being turned away. But you don't see them having any invitation of any sort.
Nice. I'm going to relay that to the group and say, look, it looks like they're allowing people in that might have some coin to spend if you have a higher nobility, but anybody else, it looks like they're turning away. So we can either walk in and waffle the name Phandalin 5 and see if they let us in, or we can get something to make us look a little better.
All right, Griswold, this is it. Gaseous potion of gaseous form for Griswold. Put him in a bottle. Sneak him in.
It's not a terrible idea.
That's
Such a great idea.
I'm totally kidding. I would not want that to happen, but it'd be funny. One day we will use that. Right now, no.
So
Griswold's gonna have his nobility ring out.
Grizz, maybe
Okay.
maybe I'm gonna toss you this pouch of 500 gold pieces, and as we're walking in, I'll mention the Phandalin 5, and maybe you can act a little intoxicated, like you're looking to win or lose a lot of gold. Tossing that pouch around. What do you think? Might get us in. I don't know, Reed, maybe you want to flash around the couple 100,000 gold pieces you have. I don't know.
100,000 couldn't
Griswold.
be me.
Grizz. I think maybe you should hide your ring as you see Keldrum, and maybe you never noticed this before, but he has a pin on his lapel that has that is a harp, and he kind of takes it and puts it a little like the inside of his.
I'll do that. All right.
Hey,
Okay.
Reed, that ring that you had from Jacob's room, does it have any like noble crests or anything on it?
No, I made sure to not take anything with signifying marks.
All right.
Emmerich will privately brandish his nobility ring.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I can somehow. How do I say this? Draw a crowd around the Phandalin 5 to hype us up a little bit. Maybe that'll get us in. I don't know. And maybe magically, have a banner stating the Phandalin 5 appear above us. as we're walking in? I don't know.
That happens. That happens.
What?
That happens. I
That,
cast
what?
minor illusion. I
Oh,
cast
I was
minor
gonna do
illusion.
that. God damn it. That's awesome. Dude, I was thinking the same thing. I was just about to do it.
Add some
If
fireworks.
only we had a
Warwick.
large. If only we
that?
had a large tiger.
Add some fireworks with yours.
Oh yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good one.
Some
I'm gonna do that.
pyrotechnics.
I'm gonna do
Wait.
that. I'm gonna what? Go ahead.
Griswold's gonna pull out a potion. It's gonna be this swirling,
Oh,
flaming
here we
red
go.
potion. And he's gonna say, "Should I drink this? I could breathe fire. It'd be really cool."
No, we're not
No,
trying to burn the
no.
boat down.
No.
No, bad idea. Bad idea.
Fine.
But Grizz, I like your enthusiasm, and with that, I'll cast minor illusion as well, and as we're walking over towards the people, I'll cast some magical fireworks above the banner. And yeah, we'll start walking in over to these guards. Well, I guess we'll wait behind everybody, but we'll start to walk in.
My
All
favorite
right, so
thought
you
is
guys jumping in line. So so walk me through what's going on here with this minor illusions.
So
There's a big banner over top of us that's going with us. It's Phandalin 5, and it's like, very 1980s banner art.
All right.
And then I'm casting minor illusion above that and around it. Little fireworks, nothing that's gonna scare everyone away, but just enough to be flashy that says you're kind of an asshole, but maybe you should look our way. And yeah, so just to kind of catch the attention and let everyone know, hey, we're the Phandalin 5. We got some money to spend. We're looking to have a good time.
All right. So as you guys are doing this, certainly catching the attention, the nobles in the vicinity who were already starting to glance your way. Again, you see nothing but the finest of clothes, silk, a lot of suits, gowns, dresses, very very just ornate offerings. Out for a town. And you guys are kind of there with your chainmail, your weapons dangling, the metal banging off of each other. With now this. As you're standing in line, catching some glances, people are kind of giving you a little bit of a wide berth, and now this sign flashing above, the fireworks ongoing. You are gaining just about everybody's attention. You are in this fairly quiet line at dusk, just popping. You guys are a neon sign in the middle of these docks, standing out, and the gentleman that's up front, this human male, fairly beefy build, standing mid 6 foot, rough red skin, kind of keeps glancing up every time he's checking in and becoming a noticeable distraction as he's watching you guys. And you're about 6-7 people back as we're waiting. And finally, he just excuse me for a second, and he's gonna kind of push the other nobles off to the side. Does the sign say Phandalin 5? Just to be clear.
It says Phandalin 5.
So we're the assholes. We are the assholes in line making the most ruckus. Just
You-
complete fucks.
You guys are peacocking it, is what you're doing. You
Dick's
could
out.
not.
I'll stop the fireworks once he
A dick's
starts
out.
talking to us. I don't want to be too much of a dick, but
Of course, you stop the fireworks whenever you start talking to him, but obviously leave the sign.
I believe the sign.
yeah.
So- So in this quiet, laid-back night with proper nobles, as you guys are coming over, the fireworks cease. You see a noticeable frustration in his face. He's kind of look at each of you, trying to size you up. Gentlemen, lady, might I assume that you are the true Phandalin 5?
That would be correct. And I'll put out my hand and say, Warwick, very nice to meet you.
He'll look down. He's gonna give you a firm shake. He's got a hell of a grip actually, as he grips onto you. Pretty impressive.
That is a mighty fine grip you have. You must be strong.
He's got pretty massive arms. As you're looking at this guy, may I ask what your intention is here? I feel this is not going to go well for me.
No, we just came into Yartar not too many days ago, and we heard this was a very, very fine establishment, and we wanted to partake. We wanted to come in and have a little bit of fun. Obviously, not causing too much trouble once we get on board.
I really wish I
The
had
fan-
Frank right now.
The Phandalin Phive obviously comes with a great deal of prestige, and your nobles are kind of like, you're hearing the. You see a few of them like fake checking their watches and getting a little impatient around it. You put me in a terrible predicament here.
It's not
My-
you, it's me. That's what he's gonna say.
might I assume that your purpose is benevolent? To have a good time then.
Yes, have a good time. Not to be too flashy, just to share some of our wealth. I mean, on our travels, we have fought many dragons and other things that have come across. I don't know, maybe a fair amount of gold that we can brandish upon this fine establishment.
Masterwork, you speak the right language. We run across two impasses, to be blunt. One, you do not look the part of our usual patrons, and he's got a glance over his shoulders, I am under strict orders to maintain a certain degree of clientele. You are not quite that, as he glances over each of you. You may or may not have the necessary coinage to partake. I cannot be a judge of that. The second problem is we have a very strict no weapons policy on this boat. And he's going to look at each of you, kind of look up and down. As a group, you break that rule about 40 times over.
So how do we rip the big one's arms off?
It is physical weapons only. I cannot speak to any of your capabilities. We have many capable ourselves. However, I apologize, but there are no formal weaponry allowed on this boat. I believe I would be more than welcome to let you on board, but under your current, shall we say, state, there's nothing I can do, and I do apologize for that.
So,
We're gonna take out the direwolf pelt, the coat that we all have, and
Yep.
ask him if throwing this on and getting rid of our weapons, if we did that, would that be adequate?
Whenever you say, what do you mean throwing it on? Are you you
Essentially
bribe him
using
here?
no, essentially using it as like an overcoat,
Hide.
like a fur coat.
I see. Throwing it on. That would get you into the necessary attire. I still worry whether this is, shall we say, do you have the coinage to partake in the games that are on the floor? But giving up the weapons would be most suitable.
what's when you say coinage, what are you referring to? Maybe a couple hundred, couple thousand gold pieces? I don't know, maybe even couple hundred platinum. Couple thousand platinum. Would that do?
I believe the old adage is, if you have to ask, you can't afford it. But you may be in the ballpark there. Yes. If you're the stakes are quite high on this particular ship.
I'm more worried about the other people having enough money when I sit down.
And you hear a few of the women nearby. Oh my. The clientele on this is getting quite interesting, won't you say? And you hear a few others, a few men. Gosh, I hope they don't let them on board. Who are these guys? So they're starting to chatter a little bit around you. And so this human is gonna kind of look around.
How about this? We'll stow away the weapons, put on the pelts. Let us worry about the proper coinage that we can bring to this fine establishment. After all, we're not in Yartar too often, and we were told great things of this fine establishment. You yourself said the Phandalin Phive name carries a great weight.
He's going to take a look. You see his eyes momentarily dart to Caldrum, right around the chest area. You see his eyes dart around and momentarily focus on Amrook's hand. And you see he starts to nod a little bit. I think we can come to an agreement there. Give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay. Persuasion check with advantage. I'll be at 27.
Nice.
Hi. With that said, assuming you check your weapons, and he kind of points up ahead, there's a fairly secured, I want to call it a shack. It's a wooden structure with some barred windows, well guarded. That a few people check these tiny little knives they seem to be putting in there. A few other items of high valuables or security that seem to be going in there right before the boat. So it's almost like a little safety deposit area. He goes, assuming you can check your weapons, it would be an honor for us to have the Phandalin 5.
Do we see in between walking in the place where we check? Is there like a little area where the group can walk off privately?
Yeah. So what you see is as you walk onto this boat, it kind of leads up the ramp, and it's actually enclosed on the inside. However, there are some walkways around the outside. Seems to be various doors that people are heading into and out of. You see some guests heading in. It seems to have a lot of fair exclusion within that. And if you ask around, you would assume inside there might be some areas of quiet as well, some perhaps little small dining areas for some privacy.
Bag of holding? Weapons?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll stash my weapons in my own bag of holding.
You guys kind of just tucking them in there in line, just pulling out the bag of holding, just tucking them in.
No, I'd say
Chamb3r has his own bag of holding?
Yeah.
Chamb3r has all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I'd say if we can sneak off to a place of that's excluded where we're not being seen, I have no problem putting my rapier in there and keeping my loot on me or my saturn on me, as it's a musical item.
Well, sorry, I apologize. The exclusion that I meant was like on the ship, where you guys are at. You're kind of out on an open, exposed dock in line. So think this area amongst the docks is there's a ramp, there's the guards, there's this little shack, but otherwise there's not much in these exposed docks within 100 feet in either direction from where you came from. You're kind of in line now, right in the center of this group. There's probably 15 people behind you, kind of 5 that shifted off to the side a little bit. So you're just kind of out there right now. And you had your weapons on you. So the question is, how do you get these into your bag of holding? What do you have? You can try to sneak them in and do a sleight of hand. But you're pretty well just exposed.
Maybe we should take a wander back over to our rooms real quick. Maybe store our weapons there, and then come back. Would that be okay with you, guard, sir? Whatever his name is.
The ship will depart in about 15 minutes. I should warn you. And so if you can get back in time, and it's about a 7-minute trip over here. I mean, it's close. You guys were in the CD area, maybe 5 minutes. It would be quick enough that you could get back, knowing that you're probably not going entirely to your room. But he gets a little nervous about it.
Yeah, I'd say if we can sneak off kind of out of sight, put the weapons in the bag of holding, and still get on the boat, then I'd say that's probably a better bet than actually putting them in a little shack.
Will they let us on the ship with our bag of holding? Are they letting people on that are carrying bags, or because
so
of the
you
attire,
notice that
no
they're
bags?
giving a cursory investigation. If you look ahead, perhaps not in checking as closely as they should. The noble clientele here certainly wouldn't be open to that kind of level of searching, and so you could get away with a certain amount in near empty bag that doesn't appear to be anything special. Maybe briefly checked, just kind of felt real quick, but it would feel fairly empty. You think?
Yeah. Garrett, for clarification, the halberd. So usually the sword version just looks like the hilt of a sword. Nothing like you wouldn't even think anything of it. The halberd the same way, or is it noticeably a weapon? Like noticeably, or just look like a long piece of metal?
It is just a long piece of metal, a very ornate, notable hilt. But sort of looks like a staff of a weapon in one form or another. So it's not like it's a cane or anything else. You weren't limping in by any means. So basically, you're just carrying a metal staff that looks like it's a club.
All right. I gotta
Yeah.
put that in the bag
I'd
of
say
holding.
we sneak back off, put everything in the bag of holding, and get back on, assuming they're not really gonna check the bag.
Well, they won't be able to feel it anyways. They won't know what they're looking for.
So,
And you guys recognize that perhaps because of the way you've approached with the brazen appearance,
circumstance?
the odd circumstances here, you and with your reputation that you've developed as the Phandalin Five that you've certainly catered to and stoked, you may get a certain degree of favor through.
Awesome. Cool. Let's do it.
Okay, so you guys go back to the hotel, and are you dumping pretty much everything into these 2 bags of holding?
I guess all the weapons and stuff. Yeah.
I will take my little miniature chest out, open it up, and all of a sudden it becomes like this big 5-foot chest. I'll put my sword and shield in the chest.
Okay.
Goes back up, shrinks back down.
Yeah, I will put my stuff in the bag of holding.
say hi.
So Amrook's stuff is in Amrook's bag of holding. Your
Yeah.
stuff is in your chest, Caldrum.
I will hold
Yep.
the bag of holding open for anybody else who wants to throw anything in mine. But mine
That's
is
what just
smaller
trying-
than the traditional one, so.
But I'm throwing everything in the one I'm carrying.
You waving hi?
Hi.
Weapons in my pack. We'll go to Amrook.
All right, so Reed's going with Amrook's.
Siddle doesn't have anything. Keegan. Who are you giving your rapier to?
Well, what about Siddle's staff?
Big
Oh,
bag
yeah.
of holding. Are they gonna take a
It's
walking
an old
stick?
man's walking stick.
The problem is Siddle is not an old man. He looks pretty fit.
Hey, bro.
I feel better.
Hey, bro.
I always
I'll
picture
toss it
Siddle
in
as
there.
an old man.
I'm not gonna do it.
No, nobody else pictures him as an
Middle
old man?
aged.
Huh.
I do.
Middle aged. My
got a-
little
you got a bad
avatar
back,
thing in
right?
roll 20 is pretty old, but
Yeah, then we went with the early old school wizard, but he's fairly middle aged. Yeah, he's not too old.
You did learn disguise self.
Ooh,
Could
And
be
no
an
shit.
old man.
no one particularly used it, so I didn't apply that.
Be good. All right,
Future.
Siddle, Warwick, where's your shit going?
I'll put my rapier in the big bag of holding, and I am holding on to my Saturn because Papa Bear may play some music.
yeah, I'll stick my my spider staff in the bag of holding.
I'll put my
Okay.
rapier and my bows, my 100 other swords in the bag of holdings.
I can just see. I envision Reed just being like, "I'll take this one. Oh, here's this one." Pulls one out of his boot. Pulls like 3 out of his belt. Pulls one.
Everyone's seen Beverly Hills Cop?
Yeah.
yeah.
Billy, we gotta talk.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep the magical deck of cards and the regular deck of playing cards.
All right, and you don't seem to have any issue with that. Is anyone going to try and sneak a weapon not in the bag of holding or in their chest?
I have a Saturn. That's about it. But I don't think that.
How easily could I put my my halberd into my metal armor?
I thought you were gonna say down your pants and say it was something else.
So you're gonna struggle to get the metal armor on there as well. I mentioned weaponry, but they
All
might let it fly. Actually, I would say that, but they're gonna give it a little inspection from what you can tell.
All right, I won't.
So you
I
can
won't
certainly
go.
try. Don't let me talk you out of it, but
I'm good.
just for clarity's sake.
Would my badger armor throw any signals with the direwolf coat on?
No, they're gonna give you guys a certain level of leeway for armor.
Nice.
Little appearance, little scoff, but you guys made up for it with your check and with the flair that you came in with.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just decked out in fur.
All right. I won't. I'll put everything of mine in the bag of holding.
And with that,
Reed kind of looks like he's been popping tags.
Yep. Yep.
Got 20 platinum in my pocket.
Yeah. With that, I think we're going to head back in.
All right. Sorry, Roll20 does not want me to change this for some reason. So many nice updates. This is glitching, so it's gonna get a little bit weird, but that's all right.
Who's pulling out copper first? Just saying.
I'm gonna start that. I'm gonna start everything.
Just kidding.
All right, I am gonna pull you guys over then to this map. Let's see how this works. This is the one I had to got a little bit before this session.
These are the penny slots, right? Oh shit.
So before we go into the map, you guys are brought up again. He seems to pull you up. He waves you guys to the front of the line as you do. Introduces himself as the captain, Nelvin Storm. Thorn, Storn. Tells you guys if you need anything, by all means, please see the gentleman at the top. Kind of gives you guys a brief brushes over. Kind of checks the metal. Doesn't like it, but lets it go. Notices you guys don't have anything on you, and then feels pretty comfortable. He's going to wave you guys up, and as you start walking across the deck, and you hear a few of the guests sighing, and then seem a little bit frustrated by this. You guys get to the top of the steps, and as they do so, you're kind of stopped by two professional-looking gentlemen, well dressed up there, and they're, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Grand Dame. Allow me to welcome you. All food here is complimentary. You may join our dining hall as you see fit, and request anything that you need. The drinks are equally complimentary. There are a number of games to be had on the second deck. The third deck down below is purely for the help for rowing. No need to head down there. And the upper deck is private chambers for staff and crew. So that everything that you need is in the middle central deck. You will find various rooms of different games of chance or dining. The only thing we may ask is that no official money can exchange hands here. We use a secondary coinage that is unique to this particular vessel only. If you could exchange any coin that you wish to gamble now or at the tables, and at the end of the event before we pull into dock, we will exchange the custom coinage for your payout as you see fit for typical standard coin to be spent across the land. And as he does so, he is going to hold up what appears to be some unique coins that have this golden goose painted on them. Each golden goose represents 10 gold pieces. Is there a value that you would like to exchange today for betting?
You said we can exchange it at the table too, right?
You can, yes.
Oh, perfect. I think I'm gonna go maybe try some of those hors d'oeuvres and drinks that you mentioned. Maybe get a little loosened up, and then I'll exchange for some proper coinage at the table once I figure out what game I want to play.
Understood. Well then, please continue onward. And he's going to welcome you guys through. And with that, I'm going to move over on the map, bring you guys onto the Grand Dame.
As we're walking through that shack that has like everybody's like stuff in it, whatever it is, right? Is it like guarded by anybody? Is it just like a locked door?
It's guarded. There are 4 guards on the outside of it. It's kind of a pretty solid wooden door. Pretty solid. I won't call it again a shack. It's more of a small fortified area with, like I said, bars on the couple windows that you can see. A solid wooden door and the 4 guards around it. They seem to take the privacy of the guests seriously.
Okay. And we don't see anybody like going in and out. It's basically just the 4 guards on the outside, nobody on the inside.
On the outside of the shack, correct? It's a fairly small shack, so basically a small room size equivalency.
Okay. So like large enough for one person to say fit inside.
I would say if you had to look inside, it was probably the outside of the shack makes it look like it's maybe about a 12 foot, 10 foot by 10 foot, 12 foot by 12 foot room. So, large shed sort of size.
Interesting. Just big enough. Cool. All right.
Just big enough.
Just keeping that in mind.
Uh,
Anyways, yeah, we'll continue walking on. And you said below deck was where they just have all the help rowing, and then above deck was all of the rooms and whatever else. Everything is okay.
Exactly. So you see that there's like 3 tiers of this particular this boat. The bottom tier you see a number of oars lined up. There's probably a dozen on each side. You see them moving as you kind of peer through the windows. You see there's a few rowers inside there. Appear to be some workers to help row this riverboat up and down the river. You see a much smaller upstairs as well. So the riverboat kind of comes up the main floor. The rowers at the bottom, and then above that it shrinks down, and there's some smaller cabin-like areas up top. So you're kind of coming onto that middle floor where you're on the docks right here.
Okay. I am going to immediately go to where the drinks are and act like I am having a good time. I want to start blending in. Don't want to get drunk. I want to pay attention to I want to be looking out for the crest of the Dawnflower, or trying to listen in on anybody mentioning the Dawnflower name or Jacob's name, as I'm just meandering around.
Okay. So as you guys just kind of describe the scene here of what you see, take this off. Oh yeah, your concentration, good. Can you guys see each player's name? Are you seeing the nameplate?
I can see
I see
Fiddles and
mine. Yeah, mine and Siddles. That's all I see.
Same. Everybody has access to Siddle.
Yes.
All
I don't
right.
actually have visibility of anything.
Sorry, Siddle. Sorry.
How about now?
There we go. Now I do.
So, for whatever reason, this is the glitch that I've been trying to play with for a little while here. I cannot get your names off. Every time I remove it, it puts it right back on, no matter how I go about it. So, I hate that it's taking up the extra space. Let me try one more quick thing here since the other ones seem to work.
How about if I do this? Nope.
No, I can still see everything.
Let me see, because I went through everybody else's, but I can still see them all. I can't get rid of them.
I tried just removing my name and the token setting, and it didn't do anything.
Gee, when you get a minute, can you shift click for the stream so that the stream sees?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't see your note there. Is Siddle still there?
For us, no. Or for me, no.
Yeah, he's there.
Okay.
I can see
So
his
Siddle's came off yours.
I can see it.
Yeah, I don't see.
But you can see it, Warwick?
Yeah. I can see my name and Siddle's. Well, I go 10 last bucket.
But I think Warwick has
Access.
access. Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Same here. Same here.
On burning.
Oh shoot. Let me do that. I'll try one more quick thing here. Because it's gonna take up a lot of space inside this thing, so I'm trying to make it a better experience for everybody. How about now with Siddles?
I see Siddle's name again.
You see it again?
I still see it.
Yep.
Still gone for me.
All right.
I love
Wait,
how
it's gone for you, Siddle?
It's been gone. Yeah.
Now it's gone for me.
Yeah, it's gone now.
Now it's gone.
Okay. Who else can see who? Can you see each of you can see your own?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see mine.
And then Caldrum's is the only one that everyone can see?
I can't see Caldrum's.
Okay, so other than your own, is there any that you can see of anybody else's?
Nope.
All right. It is super hit or miss for me, so your guess is as good as mine. All right, then. So as you kind of walk up onto this Reed, you've clearly just led the way, heading up. You walk up, you see this long outside, almost
Oh,
observation deck.
Phandalin.
Yep, Reed
Didn't
made
realize
his way
we
in
knew
already. Now you haven't exchanged your coins at all. So entering this first room, you see a large number of tables. This large cabin has been transformed into this gambling hall. The centerpiece is a gold-plated wooden sculpture of this goose that rests on the table at the aft end of the boat. You see glasses of fine wine free for the taking. A variety of drinks. You see some small glasses with various ales in it, with various liquors that you can choose from. Basically, just all open and around. And some waiters coming around serving it to people. You see an unflattering portrait of a fat, foppish, grinning man hanging on the wall across from the wooden spiral staircase that leads to the upstairs. Most of the floor space is taken up with tables and card games for, all around it. Basically, you see a number of very attractive dealers sitting behind each of the table distributing cards to players while small crowds look on. You don't actually see any currency passing back and forth into the hands of the hired help. Instead, all these bets are made with these extra large wooden coins that you just noticed with the golden goose painted on it. Everyone seems to be exchanging those. And the patronage seems to have seems to be having a very good time. You see a few people around. Warwick right next to you. A
Chinese lady.
an Asian woman that seems to be of some level of importance overseeing the hall. She gives you a second glance at one point, but she's just kind of keeping an eye on the dealers, not really interacting with anybody. More, she seems to be managing the floor in a lot of ways. You see her patrolling a little bit, smiling at guests while she's keeping an eye. You see she has very, very perceptive eyes as she seems to be watching for some form of cheating at the tables, keeping an eye on things, just having particularly interesting customers that she doesn't particularly know. Her eyes continue to come back to each of you as she does so, but she has no interaction other than a less than sincere smile to each of you.
Seems like she needs to get laid.
And that's that. I mean, you guys. Sorry, Calvin. Before I delve into the
Yep.
next
Sorry.
rooms here.
Yeah,
No, you're good.
I
You're good.
realized.
Just trying to handle them one at a time here, giving
Yep.
full view. You find a number at each of these tables. Not only are the dealers extremely attractive, both men and women, with fairly tight clothes. The clientele that you see on here, that you had seen some of them in line, some of them had already been on board, are all immaculately dressed. In most cases, very, very well off, very high end. Some of them catch your eyes, for those of you looking for the opposite company, as unbelievably attractive. The patronage here is just stunning. The jewelry that catches each of your eyes is very high end and sparkles across the board. You see ladies in bright, unique dresses of various colors that continue to catch your eye. So very very active audience here. Or very active clientele, I should say, not audience.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab a drink and again just start blending in and trying to listen out to see if I can hear anybody talk about the Dawnflowers. Are people actively going up the steps to the like where the cabins are, the smaller area, or does that seem to be like guarded off to only certain people?
It is not guarded. However, for the most part, you only see crew coming and going up and down the stairs. You do see the occasional high-end client make their way up there. Typically, the males, one at a time. Very few and far between. They seem to be in the know about that as well, but not many.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait around for a little bit, and I'm going to casually make my way upstairs.
All right. Give me a perception check too if you're kind of just listening to the conversation. Keldrum, as you're outside that room, by the way, while he's doing that, you hear a number of Good. A number of glasses and dishes banging. You hear some people talking. You hear a number of active people. That room that you just went in, I think there's only one person physically represented there, but it
One
seems
here.
to be the kitchen. As you go in there, you notice the yelling, clattering. You see some cooks quickly trying to prepare meals and passing them out. You see snacks. You see an iron stove against the one wall with a stovepipe piercing the ceiling. So a large amount of food coming out of that right now, and seems to be heading to the northern side. So as they come out, they head toward the north where Althea is right now with these plates. And then moving up a little bit in the room that Althea is in, I'm going to shift click for the group up here. So there's this room up here that Althea and Caldrum have made their way into, and I'm going to come back to you, Warwick, in a second. As you come in, you see a dining hall with a number of these, again, just unbelievably attractive people. You see men in suits that seem to be very high-end, discussing various ongoings of the city. You see a couple women that are just absolutely breathtaking, one in a red, very sheer dress. You see a lady in purple that catches your eye that is just absolutely stunning with this incredible necklace with black stones around her slender neck that immediately catches your eye, that you can only imagine how much it costs. And they kind of glance up at you, each of them smiling in one form or another to whoever enters together. Warwick, coming back to you as you're kind of keeping an eye. You hear nothing and don't see anything in relation to the name of the gentleman, the Dawnflower. Everyone is generally either talking about ongoing work, business, making small talk for the most part. Nothing that sounds of any level of importance. Amrock, I'm going to move you in here as well, just so because I don't think you're at your chair right now, just so you have it. Grabbing a drink, and you're going to try and slide upstairs. Warwick?
Yep. I'm
Go
gonna
ahead and
try.
give me a performance check. Just kind of check your confidence level here as you just make you up like you know where you're going.
Do I
With advantage.
do I see him? Oh, never mind.
With
Okay.
advantage, yeah. There we
Go
go.
ahead, Grizz.
Yep. For you, yeah.
Nat
Ooh.
20.
Oh, Grizz, you were gonna ask something.
Do I see him? I'm assuming I see him trying to go up the steps.
You do, yeah. He's pretty brazen about it, not trying to sneak up, just kind of like he goes up there all the time.
Yeah, buddy.
Warwick, as you do so, making your way up, kind of seeing your crew down here. A few of them have disappeared. You no longer see Warwick and Althea or Reed and Siddle, who have seemed to have disappeared from the room. You start to make your way up. You see a bronze plaque that says "Crew Only" as you continue to make your way upstairs. Gonna keep going.
Do I see maybe like a little storage room that might have like a maybe like crew attire or anything that I could maybe slip into, throw on some crew attire?
Not yet. You're kind of exposed in the spiral staircase that's going up. You actually kind of still have visibility to the room. The spiral staircase is ornate but open on the outside. So you as you're walking this little spiral upward, you can still see out in the room and people can still see you. And it's as you're kind of mid-floor that you see this deck. So you are right in the middle of this staircase with nothing but the ability to either go up to the next floor or drop back down again.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. And then if I could, yeah, I have a disguise kit, but I'm not sure exactly how those work. So yeah, no, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going up, drinking my drink, acting confident as hell, and I'm gonna keep walking.
Okay. And so I'm gonna bring you up to the top of the stairs. You enter another room, smoky, dimly lit cabin as you come to the top of the stairs, and you hear light minstrels playing, other entertainers performing. You see a few men gathered around. Got it, Grizz. You see a few other men gathered around as they come up there. They're all kind of mingling. They seem to know each other, talking back and forth. So very comfortable little area. Call it a little bit more formal than the downstairs. And again, the minstrel's up on a light stage performing. Grizz, you don't seem to see anyone following. The Asian woman kind of glanced that way and let it go for the moment, and then went back to walking around the tables. So she's just kind of mingling around for the various cards. Warwick, I'm gonna pull you over here to the next floor. Before you do too much, Warwick, or go beyond this, what's everyone else doing?
I'm sitting at this table here and just kind of taking it all in. If there's any food, I'll be eating some food.
Okay, so
I'm
Caldrum, you're gonna. There's plenty of food around. As you come in, it's basically waiters and waitresses asking you what you need. The help comes through. Think of this almost like it's almost like a Brazilian steakhouse. As you're going through, it is just ongoing food upon food upon food. Whatever. As you give them a look, they hand you food, and it just keeps going. It's a never-ending buffet. It is nonstop. You see a few people coming and going, a few conversations happening amongst the other guests. Again, you struggle to take your eyes off a few of them, but you have no shortage of food and drink being presented to you from there.
So I see Althea is just sitting with me. I see Siddle out the door. I see Reed. I'm going to cast 3 times message. Cantrip. I'm just gonna point to where I saw Griswold last and just be like, just checking in. Where you at? Where a couple of us are back in the dining room. I'll do the same with Warwick and Amrook. You can respond to this message. Just checking in, making sure everybody's okay.
Did we get the exchange rate of the wooden coins?
It was 10 gold pieces to each wooden coin.
Nice.
Grizz, any response? And did you send it to anybody else, Caldrum? I thought you said 3 times.
Yeah, I to Warwick, Grizz, and Amrook.
You just hear from Amrook, his mouth full of food. Everything tastes great.
You just hear Griswold slurping. He's convinced someone to give him a Goliath-sized beverage, and he is just he's observing and taking it in.
Try the spaghetti.
I see Griswold just having 3 of the small glasses in his hand, and as he tilts it, the top one pours in the middle one, which pours in the bottom one.
Griswold's gonna try to make a spectacle of that. He's gonna try to do that. I'm just kidding. Griswold's not gonna do that. He's just gonna be sipping on a Goliath-sized ale for now.
Warwick, are you responding to Caldrum?
Yeah. Made my way upstairs. Nice little dimly lit room. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Downtown.
All right. So Siddle, Althea, Reed, what are you guys up to?
I'm gonna grab a drink.
I'm-
and head back to the playing area to check to see if there's any games of interest.
All right. We will come back to that in a moment then. Althea, Siddle.
I'm gonna make my way back down towards that room as well. Kind of do the same thing as Reed, but kind of stick on the opposite end of the room from him.
Okay.
So I'll stick I'll go right in the middle. Actually, we got Grizz and Amrook down here.
I'd say your previous position, you were getting to know that dealer pretty well.
And Althea, what about you? All right then. I'll assume you are currently busy, Althea.
I'm very excited about
The
this.
food is delicious. We're gonna go with that. Althea is stuffing her face with Caldrum up there.
No, she found a helper and took him off to a side room, if you know what I'm saying. hmm
You said it, not me. We'll see what she comes back with whenever. I'm sure she's still listening, just can't talk. Althea, I don't know if you're talking or not. I can't hear you, so nor can us. So we assume you stepped away. With that said, okay. Reed and Siddle, as you guys. Ooh, you made her mad. She got off.
I pissed her off. I'm sorry.
I imagine her mic just wasn't picking up or something.
Yeah. Althea, how about now? We can't hear you if you're talking.
Now, if you would have said anything about Althea and Warwick going to a room, then she would have been bad.
So as you guys are making your way around, Siddle and Reed, you guys were kind of keeping an eye out. You see that there's primarily a couple different games being played across this. You see this Sava that you heard about earlier. It's a sort of a version of chess in a way. Numerous ornately carved pieces on two sides of the board that are making their way across from each other. As you're watching it, you pick it up pretty quickly. You've seen it played before. It's fairly common across Farron. You generally know the rules. There's strategy involved in the numerous movement of the pieces. That requires a little bit of skill, a little bit of insight, a little bit of deception. It's sort of a game of noble houses battling each other. So not only is it just pure attacking like chess would be, there's some deception and insight in reading your opponent as well. But very much one-on-one. And then the other one, you see some of these cobalt knuckles that you were hearing about. As you're looking, it's almost a version of what you look at blackjack. That uses dice instead of playing cards. So you play against the house, not against each other. Multiple players kind of come together and.
Oh.
What was that, Ash?
Ooh, I heard her.
It is working, and no, I'm not off in a room with Warwick.
Damn.
I heard everything. My microphone apparently didn't work.
I love it.
Got it. So I'll come back to that now that I was describing the games. What is Althea doing?
She's eating with Caldrum.
Okay, so you guys are just munching up there. You guys, so Caldrum and Althea, before I get back to the room, now you guys have got the game. Are you guys talking at all, interacting, or just kind of listening, or just really just taking in some good food right now? Because it's still fairly early. And as you guys are doing this, I should also say that you feel the boat slowly push off the dock. You can kind of start to feel it move, and then you hear the oars in the water and just. And you kind of feel the boat start to move forward and make its way up the gentle course of the river.
I'm
No, I'm listening in on conversations. I'm eavesdropping.
Okay. Can you both of you give me a perception check then?
See how bad I fail.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't fail.
Oh yeah.
Nice. All right.
All right. Yeah, you guys killed it. Okay, I'm gonna come back to that as you guys are listening to people having these conversations. Meanwhile, Reed and Siddle, Grizz and Amrook as well is on the outside. Let me come back here. Down at the bottom, you're watching these games. So the other one, as I mentioned, Cobalt's Knuckles is you see a lot of dice rolling. Multiple people lined up around the table going against the dealer. You can start to feel it out a little bit as you're watching. The players are all making bet, pushing in these golden goose coin, wooden tokens. The players are rolling two separate dies. The dealer is rolling one open set of die and another one behind a screen. And you start to see kind of as they win and lose, the turns go fast. A lot of money starts moving back and forth. Basically, the goal is that if the total exceeds 10, they lose their bet. So how close can you get to 10? And so it is amazing how many of these golden goose coins are now moving. You just see piles of them going back and forth. Some of the players winning huge amounts, some of them very quickly losing and cashing in other platinums, piles of platinum in a lot of ways. The software games, go ahead.
In a given round of the Cobalt Knuckles, how many of these golden goose coins? You say a bunch. Like, are you saying like 50 at a time, 10 at a time, like roughly? Griswold's trying to get a feel of the amount.
So you're seeing there's various tables, and I will say you're seeing a variety of them, but it's not like just one coin at a time. You're seeing anyone play between like 5 per hand, upwards of 20 per hand. And again, the hand goes very quickly. It's only about a minute a hand. And so the equivalent of what 20, 10, so 200 gold pieces are shifting back and forth pretty darn quickly.
Cool.
But there's no required bets. It seems like people are just throwing a lot more money out there, as you can see it. So it's a variety across the players. The Sava, there's only a few tables of this chess. It's a much slower game. It seems to be very high stakes. You see a couple piles of platinum of about 50 to 60 coins stacked up on the side of the game, and a few people playing back and forth. You see a few gaudily dressed older men that are playing against each other. You also see a middle-aged man that has some eye candy with him playing against this lady in a purple dress. Once again, the one that you saw earlier, black hair, kind of cropped short on the sides, and she seems to be handing this guy his ass, and she is just pulling these coins over as she finishes. She's got a nice tall pack now, and she is just rolling through people at this point without much issue and trash talking them along the way.
Oh, Griswold's gonna go. Just kidding.
Well, you guys are deciding what to do, and coming back to the thoughts. Warwick, you've come up and kind of joined this. You get a few glances from the men and the minstrels. What are you doing up top?
I'm just gonna mosey my way on up in there and kind of just look around the room and understand what's going on. Are they playing games? What are they? It seems to be a little bit more of a secret club up here. So I guess
Yeah, and there's really, consider this a small little den of sorts. The music is playing and the men are just conversing. Doesn't seem to be any, kind of listening to a few of the conversations, but it's very quiet. So there's much more whispered tones. They do seem to be keeping an eye on you. They seem to be mostly friendly. It's almost more of a gentleman's club. You see some cigars being smoked. Very relaxed in atmosphere. So there's no gambling like down below. This is more of an entertainment dining area, or entertainment. What's the best word? Like a little. I won't call it a dance hall, but like just a den to converse.
nice.
Little men's club up there.
I'm gonna pull up an open chair. I'm gonna grab a cigar or get a cigar from one of the crew members, and I'm just gonna take a seat and casually start smoking, and just kick back and pay attention to my surroundings.
All right, and go and give me a perception check for up there.
Ba, 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 ba. 19.
All right. And before I come back to what everyone hears north and south, anyone in any gambling area gonna partake? You guys just meandering through having some drinks, or anyone want to jump in?
Griswold. No? You gonna do it?
I think Reed's going to.
I think Reed should.
I think with all of Reed's money, he can afford it.
Uh-huh.
And didn't you give Griswold 500 GP, huh?
He handed it back to me. He didn't want it. He said I can hold on to it for him for a little while. Isn't that right, big man?
All right, so you guys are gonna continue to kind of meander around the hall, scouting out the games, watching people. You see, go ahead,
I'm
Reed.
gonna cash in 500 gold pieces for my wooden nickels.
All right, and they hand you 50 of these golden gooses back.
I hope you win big.
And as you cash in, you seem to catch the eye of the Asian woman who keeps a close eye on you. But as she sees the amount of money you toss out, you see a little nod. And she goes back her way. Once again, walking around.
Do I notice anybody tipping wait staff?
Yeah, you see a few of them dropping the occasional. They actually tip with standard coins as opposed to these golden gooses. They're tossing over the occasional couple gold pieces.
That's what I was checking to see if the
Yep.
tipping was standard.
Yeah, it seems to be a little unorthodox.
Currency.
They're kind of tossing it over, maybe a little hidden behind the scenes. It's not like required, but they seem to be doing so separately.
So I'm gonna place some of the knuckles.
All right.
Nucky nuts.
So sitting down at a table with three other gentlemen and the dealer. They seem to have just finished a round. Yeah, the one to your immediate left. 1 second. So immediately to your left, there is a middle-aged human, short curled brown hair and brown eyes, darker skin, tall round build, triangular ordinary face. She's got a piercing in her nose, and exceptional piercing in her forehead, kind of in a weird place. But she is extremely immaculately dressed, almost audaciously so. Looks like she's trying to fit in maybe a little too hard, trying to a little too gaudy. She is, as she's talking to the people nearby and talking to the dealer, just very blunt and to the point. A bit obstinate. Yeah, she's a little rough around the edges. 1 second. To your right, there are two other gentlemen. Pull these guys up. All right. So to your right, there is a. Oh shoot! Sorry, I took a second there. What appears to be a fairly young, actually, dragonborn man. So you certainly an eclectic crowd here. He is pristinely dressed, well tailored to with perfectly cut attire, very fashionably done. Smooth head, blue eyes, this broad copper scales, fairly beefy build, round bulbous face, and just a light hunch to him. But a look of confidence. He's been one of the more generous tippers. Very even tempered, very friendly. Kind of welcomes you as you sit down. Has this beautiful walking cane next to him that he's carried on.
I know that my coat is not the best tailored. Probably a little rough around the edges, as well with my armor from being in battle. So I'm gonna look at him and go. I see we go to the same tailor.
He is going to momentarily pause, look up and down, and give me a performance check.
My tabs got closed out when we were first walking on the boat. I was scrambling to open up Roll 20 again.
Yeah, I had an issue there too. Well, I'm just gonna run with it then. Let's ignore that.
Oh, don't run with that. We can ignore that one. I'll roll again.
Oh,
we can ignore that.
He looks at you, looks up and down, doesn't seem to make the connection, but gives a polite and friendly chuckle anyways. Like he recognizes that you attempted to make a joke. He didn't find entertaining, but that's no reason not to laugh.
Hey, if he's laughing with me or at me, it don't matter.
There it is. And then the gentleman on the other side of him is a middle-aged halfling, balding head, red eyes, rough pockmarked golden skin, despite pretty lean build, and about your height, at about 3'1". So you guys are kind of seeing eye to eye here. This fairly sharp, acute face, and pretty. Shall we say a little bit smooth skinned? Doesn't look like he's done a hard day's labor in his life. Sort of no nonsense though. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be too enjoyable. He is just very focused on the game itself. So the dealer's gonna toss out a few rolls. So go ahead and give me a 1d6 and a 1d4 roll. Meanwhile, the dealer is gonna roll himself, and you're gonna see his 1d6 out in the open. So
I
dealer rolls a 1.
I was gonna. Do bets go out before or after I roll?
Oh, before I did not throw the bet out there.
I was gonna say 5. 5 wooden nickels.
5 wooden nickels. All right. So you. Ooh, Amrook, what are you going with here?
Managing.
Might-
Yeah, no, you don't have to do anything special. As time goes past, I'm just kind of clocking the room for each person to see like their strength, dexterity, and cons compared to mine. And if you, as time passes, if I notice anybody that is above mine, if you could just point them out to me.
All right. Let me come back to that then.
I
Cover
have to
that whenever I'm covering the rumors. What's that?
I have to restart my computer apparently per recommendations, or no, I just have to restart it at 12:15. I'm gonna log onto my phone, so I won't have my camera.
All right.
Yeah.
So you did a 3 and 3 read. So you look over, and the female to your left rolls a 6 and a 1. That dealer still got the 1 out there. The Dragonborn to your right rolls a 6 and a 3. And the halfling rolls a 1 and a 3. So at this point, you guys are all looking at the dealers. You can choose to roll an additional 1d4, or you can hold. If you exceed 10, you lose immediately. So the goal is to get as close to or at 10 and not over.
There's a
After
hidden
you,
die still, right?
what's that?
There's a hidden die still, right?
There is still a hidden die. So the dealer has rolled that 1d6 and rolled a 1. He has a 1d4 behind it, and you know from the way that he's played that he has to continue to roll d4s until he has at least an 8. And if he exceeds 10, everybody at the table wins. So let's see. If female to your left gets to choose first, she's gonna based on all that. Actually, do you guys want to toss any more bets out? And just to kind of give you a feel, the female to your left, that the woman, she tossed out 10 golden gooses right off the bat. She's looking at her 6 and 1. She's feeling in a pretty good place. She's gonna throw out 5 more. They're gonna look to you now.
Interesting that she'd feel good about that, because the dealer has to roll.
And he does. She seems confident.
Still has to roll until it reaches 8. With a 1 showing, she shouldn't be too confident.
And she's still going to choose them to roll another d4. So this is kind of like at your place before you roll your d4s. Did you want to throw any extra gold in?
Yeah, and I'm gonna roll a d4. I'm gonna
All
throw
right.
in,
How much more are you throwing in before you roll?
we'll throw in 5 more. So
5
10
more. All right. The Dragonborn to your right had thrown 5 gold goose out, matching you right off the bat. And then the halfling threw out 7 gold goose. So you guys are all kind of in that playing ballpark. So you toss down 5 more before you roll with your 3 and 3. The Dragonborn to your left, looking at his 9 sitting there, he feels pretty good. He's going to throw 10 more gold pieces out. And then the halfling at the end, sitting on a 4, doesn't like it. He's thinking about it. He's going to hold it at 7. All right. So the female to your left, sitting on her 7, going to roll 1 more d4. She rolls a 1, up to 8. She thinks about it. You see her contemplating, running some numbers. Her mind is rolling. She's going to hold at 8. On to you. What do you want to do with your 6?
Roll another d4.
All right, go for it. That's 7. Would you like another d4?
You can guarantee it. I'm gonna throw down 2 more GP.
All right.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, now you get the
Oh.
4.
With the 11, they take your 12 golden goose coins and pull it in.
Hey, you win some, you lose some. I say to the table.
You know what? It happens. Quick, easy round. So the gentleman to your right is going to hold at his 9. And the halfling is going to throw out with his 4. He's going to roll another d4. up to 5. He's going to toss in another 5 golden goose. Rolls another 4. A 2. So he's at a 7. He's gonna drop in another 5 golden gooses and roll one more time. And with a 1, he is up to 8. So he's gonna hold. So you got 8, 9, 8 holding in there. Dealer is sitting on his 1, rolling from behind the scenes. Actually, we're gonna go ahead and we'll throw it in the open. He rolls. So behind the scenes, he had. Come on. He had a 6. So he was sitting on 7 right off the bat. And with his D.
Oh.
What's he doing with his D?
Oh,
This
he
is a
is
bad
super
one.
locked up. I'm guessing he got disconnected.
Yeah, that's probably the safest bet.
How about now?
There you go.
Oh,
Am I here?
there we go.
All right, now I'm back. Did you guys get that the dealer rolled a 10?
No, we got
Oh.
something that was going to do something with his D.
Yeah.
He rolled his D4 after sitting. He showed you the D6 right off the bat, so he had a 7. With his D4, he rolled since he had to rolled a 3 for a 10. So raking in the 59 golden goose coins from the table. So
Wow.
one hand pulled in a quick 590 gold pieces for the house.
Yeah, seems about right.
Wow.
So Reed's still sitting on 38 of your golden goose tickets. Another round.
Of course.
All right. So now that seeing that you threw it in a little bit, the female to the left trying to up the game a little bit decides to throw 15 gold pieces on the table, or 15 golden gooses on the table.
That's a lot of golden gooses.
High rollers here.
She's thirsty.
They're gonna all look to you.
We'll toss in 15.
Ooh. The Dragonborn likes the style. Gives you a little nod. He's gonna throw 15 on the table as well. The halfling
As
looks a
he
little
gives-
bit nervous.
As he
What's
gives
that?
me the nod, I'm gonna say again. Like I said, same Taylor.
So he pauses for a minute, gives you a quizzical look. This time it hits him suddenly what you were doing, and just starts laughing. He's gonna put his hand on your shoulder. I like him. Bring him a drink. They're gonna wave you over, bring a drink your way. And he's gonna match that 15 golden goose. The halfling at the end looks a little bit nervous now as he's sitting, running some math, but he feels the only man he has to match that 15 gold pieces. So you guys all have 15 golden goose in there. So with that, the dealer is going to go ahead and roll his D4 for the table, or D6 in the open. Sorry, D6 in the open. So you see the 4 for the dealer, and the rest of you go ahead and roll your D6 and D4.
Oof.
Hey, we can keep rolling. Like a famous man
So
that once
the-
ran for Congress said, "Keep rolling, rolling, rolling."
Yeah.
The woman to your left rolls a 5 and a 2. The halfling to your right, 5 and a 3 with an 8. Oops. And the halfling at the end, 3 and a 6 for a 9. Any additional bets? So the female to your left, she's kind of eyeing you up a little bit here, Reed, eyeing up the rest of the party. She looks down at her pile, shakes it a few times, looks at her 5 and a 2. She'll throw 5 more golden goose in.
Match it.
5 more for Reed. That was a 3 and a 1. The Dragonborn, well, good chap. I certainly can't fall back. 5 gold pieces it is. The halfling looking at his 9, you see him kind of twiddling his thumbs here, his fingers. And he's going to push in 15 more golden goose. He's going
Jesus.
big. All right. So the lady to the left, kind of taking a look at you, Reed, kind of shifts in your direction now, has her drink. She's looking down at her 7. She decides she's going to roll one more d4. Ooh, with the 1. She's going to lean over. Should I live dangerously and roll once more? What would you do with an 8?
What would I do?
She's going to bat her eyes a little bit to you, Reed.
Safe bets to stick. Dealer probably has an 8 or a 9.
A man that plays it safe. I like that. He knows what he's got. He doesn't need to reach. Stay I will. All right, Reed. 3 and 1. What do you want to do?
We're back up to 8.
Dealer reaches out. Would you like to roll again, sir?
I'm going to look back over to her and say, I don't gamble other people's money.
Oh, bullshit.
Look at her again and say, just another night on the town.
A man that gives good advice, but lives his own life dangerously. I do like that. And she's gonna give you some eyes here as she's glaring over. The Dragonborn gentleman looking at your 12 is gonna look back at you. Well, it appears your luck may be in other areas tonight, good sir. And he is sitting on an 8. I think I will take your advice and I will hold at 8. Feel good about my odds. And the little halfling, not paying any attention to what you guys are doing. He's just in his own little world over there. Just, I'm staying 9. I'm good. And so the dealer is going to pull back his blind and reveal that he had a 3. So he's at a 7 right now, forcing him to roll another d4. And with the 4, he is going to bust. And so, based on the rules, even though you busted, Reed, you will get your money back and break even that time. So your 20 that you put in still maintains. And anyone that didn't bust will win. So they rake in a nice hefty 20, 20, and 30.
That would have been nice to get back.
Would have been a nice win.
Does it get split
40.
based on who gets closest to 10? Is it like
no? So it's
even
basically
split?
considered. They're all one-on-one games essentially.
Okay, so it's a wash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're going to get paid. They'll actually win because of that. So they put in 20, so they're getting 40 golden gooses. You put in 20, but because it was a wash, since you went over, you get your 20 back.
Yeah, so it's based off individual bets between them
Exactly.
and the dealer, essentially.
Exactly. It's all individually done. So in that case, let's see, 40, 80. So yeah, the house just paid out 70 golden gooses, so 700 gold pieces paid out that time. So money moves. So I'll tell you what. I think this is kind of interesting. I'm enjoying it. I'm saying this is 12:25 here. Do you guys want to pick up with some gambling? Next time, I will toss over some of the conversations that you overhear Caldrum and Althea up to the front. Warwick, give you a little bit of detail of what you're hearing up in the lounge as well. And then Grizz, Siddle, and Amrook, you guys are kind of keeping an eye on the floor. You guys will pick up something as well. If each of you can give me a perception check for the area.
I can do that.
I was going to say, G, and if you want, I could do the gambling on the side and then campfire chat for the table.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Listen,
That
as
way
far
we don't. That way we don't take up like a lot of time next time. 100% with gambling, and we can
I'm good
always.
with it. And if anyone else wants to sit down, I'm happy rolling d4s and d6s all through the week. We can gamble for as much this week as you guys want to move some money and have that chat. I think it'd be fun campfire chat. So it's not as necessarily like all in the row, but you guys can take your time, choose what you want to do if you're interested. 17 per siddle.
I like it.
So yeah, some whispers to be had, and for anyone in that room that wants to do some gambling, that will be this week. So by the end of the week, the Phandalin Phive may either be wealthy beyond belief or dead broke.
Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me.
I'm gonna roll a boatload of 4s and 6s, by the way, and just let this one play out on my end. So as many rounds as you guys want to play over the course of the week, if you're in the middle of answering an email and you're bored and you're like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna play some Kobold Knuckles," do it.
Make some moolah.
This is Kobold Knuckle week. If anyone wants to jump in some Sava too, you can play some Sava. With that said, thank you everyone for joining. I thought we would get the battle, but a little bit too heavy on the RP this week. Next week, I not only promised you a battle, I promise you a classic D&D monster that we have not yet encountered that will be oh so enjoyable to make it well worth a couple heavy sessions of RP here. So I am very excited about it. And I use monster in the general terms of enemy. So don't try to read too much into that.
A scripted direction we have to go would be the real monster.
Yeah. He's gonna either give us a kraken or a dragon turtle. That'd be dope as fuck.
A dragon turtle? I don't even know this, but now you're getting a dragon turtle too. I'm just slapping that on top of this.
Yeah. Dude, wait, hold on.
Well,
is it-
you in